everybody. Good evening or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Can you put a 1 in chat if you can hear me? And Mallory, you can, if you want to say hi to everyone.
Hello.
Okay, Mama Bear, thank you. Hello, Mama Bear. Hi, Pointer Lover. Yvette, NorCal Jim, good to see you. Scrolling up. Alicia, Care, Muffin Top, Liza, good to see you always. Alicia, Jennifer, Grace, Mallory, of course, good to see you. Kelly, that's not my name. I always like that name too. Max, or Zam, I call them both. Or Creoma. You're probably like, what are you talking about? But Catherine, Angelina, Valerie, Valera, Brittany, get up here. Joan, Lady Tinkerbell. I'm trying to say hi to everyone. City Girls Glam. I think that's everyone. Was that everyone, Mallory? If I didn't say hi to you, hello. Yeah. Hi, there's Heidi. Hello, Ashley, Lady V, Blifton, Sugar Mom, Lori. Okay, all right. Trista, I think I got everyone. If not, I'm sorry. All right, so we have a few things. Has everybody in chat, Art and Sammy? All right, I'm done now. Has everybody in chat seen the body cam footage already from when they were having a party at 1122 King Road and Bethany, one of the roommates, answers the door? Has everybody seen that? If you've seen it, put a 1. If you have not seen it, put a 2.
Quite a mixture.
Okay, yeah, so I'm seeing 1s and 2s.
I think you could play it.
All right. Yeah, so we're gonna, from ATS, if you guys aren't subscribed to her, she's amazing. You should subscribe to her. So I'm gonna present from her channel, and then we'll review that and comment on it.
Sounds good.
Also, Mallory, you can let me know in chat. Let me know when you can hear the video playing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody drop a ATS News link in the chat, please?
There you go. You're good.
Hey ladies, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
We're not actually. I don't
You
know.
don't know who lives here?
No, I don't.
What's your first license plate? Yeah, they did.
Get on the damn door.
Hey, who's the owner or who lives here?
I can go get them real quick.
Okay, thank you, please.
She leaves. This is what the other group had that ran away. Oh, really? They just ditched it. Awesome. Hey, those ones kept walking to the car, and the other one grabbed back corner. Hey, property. Check that back. There's a lot of fucking alcohol in there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one thing you
Sorry about that. 1 minute.
You're good. Yeah, Bethany does answer the door.
need to do before you start your holiday shopping. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this.
Moscow, I said lot.
I don't know what sorority lives here.
We got 1122. Yes. That's hilarious. Like, Tuesday has the top stuff. Blend into the darkness.
Yeah.
To me, it really sounds... Sorry, let me pause it.
That's all right.
What were you saying, Valerie? Valerie, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I was saying it sounds like the noise really carries there. So, like, you could hear people yelling in the background, and it sounded... I remember, I don't know if it was the neighbor that said it sounds like an amphitheater there, but didn't it sound like everything was kind of echoing a lot there? The
Yeah.
sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that also makes me suspicious of... And again, I'm not saying anyone's guilty of anything, but of not hearing anything. But I'll keep playing the video. I just wanted to stop it a little in between.
We're only here for a noise complaint. Come to the damn door.
Teach you about dogs. Start the search. I just rang the doorbell.
Here for a noise complaint. Whoever lives here needs to come talk to us, or we're going to start doing a lot more than just deal with
I will
noise.
go tell them.
Yeah, just tell them to come to the front door. We'll deal with the noise complaint, and we'll leave. Yep, thank you.
Yep.
Come to the door, guys. Send whoever lives here down to the door. Not leaving. We can also see you.
Yeah, for the most part. They're scared.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So I just looked for everyone that lives here, and they're not here right now.
No one's here that lives here at all.
No one's here that lives
So
here.
everyone here's trespassing?
Well, no one's here that's trespassing, but no one that lives here is here right now.
So where'd they go?
They're just not here. I have no clue where they went. No clue.
So you guys just throwing a party in their house at this
They were
time?
here
And
at one point. They're not here right now. I just searched all the rooms.
They left and went over to some other party, and everyone is about to leave and go over to another party.
Okay. Who does live here? What are their names?
I am actually not sure. I live across the street.
I don't believe that no one was there at that time, but I have known of like people going to parties or being at parties and people don't even know whose house they're at. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm at Shannon's party," and they're literally talking to the person whose party it is, and they don't even realize it's their house. So So I mean, I do get that, but I do believe that I think Maddie was there, and we know Bethany was there. So I do think a lot of the people that lived there were there, that they just no one wanted to talk to the cops.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Hopefully my analogy that I said made sense. I don't know if it did to you
did.
or the
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I just came over. I haven't drank a drop.
Male, female?
I think it's mainly females. I think it's like 4 females.
What sorority are they affiliated with?
I don't know.
I don't know if they're associated with the. I don't know.
So I guarantee you they're associated with the sorority. As many of them are living here. It's an off-campus sorority house. I've been a cop for 22 years here. I'm not stupid. Don't play dumb games with me. I'd rather deal with this as a noise complaint than getting a hold of the Greek council and the Greek board and all of that, and the students and playing all these stupid fucking games.
Do you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Quick question.
Because I guarantee you, there's a lot of underage drinking because they left their alcohol behind.
Do you want us to try and get a name or a phone number and
If
we
you
can
could.
call someone?
We just need to talk to somebody who lives here, because otherwise I have to be under the assumption you guys are unlawfully entered because no one who lives here is here.
Okay.
Right?
We'll go.
So I need to verify that there was a party here. Now everyone left.
We'll go get a phone number. We'll be right back.
Thanks,
Sorry, we're
guys.
not trying to make your life.
I understand. I just letting you know this is how it's going to play out. I'm not going anywhere until I talk to somebody.
We'll be right back.
you guys mind just leaving the door open for us? That way we can get some sort of communication between us and them. We're not going to come in.
Here right now, so
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I
No
know. I
worries.
do.
And hey guys, really, we're just coming here for noise complaint.
Okay,
So we
no, I
understand
get it.
y'all
Just
drinking.
literally-
Right?
I apologize for no one coming to the door. The issue was we were
It's okay.
trying to find the
Everyone's kind of freaked out because cops are here. You guys are having a good time, right?
Well, I've been at another house before and I went out and talked to the cops,
Yeah.
but I wasn't the
No worries.
resident, so they just told me to go back inside,
Yep.
basically. So
No worries. So hey, just go ahead and get the contact. Thanks, man.
We'll be right back.
All right.
And don't tell me this isn't a fucking off-campus sorority house.
I was seriously doing the same thing. Keep all the campus back. Have a nice day.
They threw a big ass party with underage drinkers, and they all left and went to the door.
Sorry, I keep pausing it, but the cops seem so fed up, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you'd think that if they were dealing with that all the time, like I'd just be like, ugh. Just the fact that they go in and they're like, we're not even worried about underage drinking. We're just here to deal with this and then we'll leave.
Yeah, well, I think it's a common occurrence that they have to deal with all like every weekend, so they're just sick of it.
Well, and that's the thing is I think they would be like chill and not as like confrontational about it if they would have just came to the door right away.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they said they're not leaving until they speak to someone. But I love how they're like, so you guys are just all trespassing.
I know.
Here, I'll press play again.
Yep. Here are the names of the people who were there. The vehicles were There's a party somewhere.
Yeah, their music got real quiet.
Real fast.
Real fast. Noise complaint done.
The only one that I hear.
Yep.
They said they're going to the other park. Guess what?
Huh?
Start dumping alcohol.
Good to go.
They have the property.
Ready to start eating healthier?
White Claws? White Claws. You're going to be so angry at me. They're cold, too. Man.
Yeah, these are cold.
An open one. Hello.
You do that? Learn that from a college kid.
All right, Josh. Jordan, you talk to
Yep.
Maddie.
This is one of the owners that lives here. She's on the phone right now.
Hi, this is Officer Wilson, Moscow Police Department. Who am I speaking with? Maddie, 1 second. Let me turn the volume up on this phone here.
People want to be dumb.
All right, can you hear me, Maddie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Do you live at 1122 Queen Street?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, hey, the reason that we're here is that we received a noise complaint of loud music, partying. Okay. Once we approached the house, people started running away. They left a bunch of alcohol behind. We're not even coming for alcohol. We're coming for the noise complaint. And then we sat here for approximately 10 minutes trying to knock on the door. No one would come to the door until these two gentlemen came down and actually answered the door. So right now, if I can, I would like to collect your information, your name, number, your date of birth, and I'm guessing, and I want your current address at also as well, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay. So let me go ahead and what's your first name? Maddie?
Maybe.
And how do you spell that, Maddie?
My legal name is Madison. It's Madison.
What's your middle name, Madison?
May, May.
What's your last name?
Mogen, Mogen.
Mogen?
Yep.
Okay. What's your date of birth, Madison? Okay. And what's your current address?
1122 King Road.
Okay. And are you a student at U of I?
Yep.
Okay.
I will graduate with a bachelor's. I'm studying my master's.
All right, Madison. So here's the deal. Okay. They've already said that no one here lives, none of the occupants that live at this address are here right now. So now you have a house full of random people. You need to let them know that the noise needs to come down. Okay. We just received.
I know a lot of people were eyeing in on this white car, but do you know anything about this car? It's just one of the party goers, or is this someone that lived there? Do you know? But I know in a lot of the Facebook groups, people are like, oh, I think it's that Hyundai Elantra that they're looking for.
No, I want to say it was one of the girls' cars.
Hey, Brittany.
Neighbor.
Oh, sorry. I was watching Troll Hunter with the kids. I got I got sidetracked.
Yeah, Maddie's. That's what I thought.
Okay, all right. But yeah, I saw in a lot of the groups, people are like, oh, it's the Hyundai that's there. So I just wanted to bring that up. I'll finish playing it.
A noise complaint. We want that music turned down. And we don't want to come back again tonight. If we have to come back again tonight, then there's going to be even more problems, okay?
I see both sides.
Good. I'm just frustrated. I'm also so sorry once again.
I understand, okay? It's just, I mean, if I were you guys, I'd probably just come home and make sure that whoever is partying here is keeping it down to a minimum, okay?
Yeah, we're going to take all of them.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to leave, okay? And again, if I have to come back later tonight, like I said, I just want to express that there's going to be some citations given out, okay?
Okay, very clear. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, you enjoy your evening, all right?
You too.
Bye. All right, man. Here's your phone.
You're going to kick
Hey,
him.
so, yep.
You already told her about noise?
Yep, already told her about noise. If we have to come back.
You guys noise because you don't live here.
Yeah.
But I would probably strongly suggest that anyone else that's left here, they don't live here. Probably just
Thank you guys.
if not, I'm going to come back.
We weren't lying to you guys. Like, no one lives here that we were just.
Yeah, they were here. They went to a party.
This would not be the first party I've ever gone to with people who live with me and just let people stay. Why they do that, I don't know. But to me, that would be stupid.
It happens
Stay where I
pretty
live.
frequently.
I've known this for 20 years now.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But, yeah, we'll go let them know. And then make sure.
Just let them know I'm not going to stand out here and wait for them to come out and give them my keys or anything like that.
I appreciate it. In the same term.
Tell them not to leave with alcohol.
Yeah.
That's the first way you're going to get us. You get them do stupid shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's not.
Wonder how many times they've went out there.
What do you mean? Like
I guarantee you that's not the only time they've ever got a noise call.
Yeah,
at
that's
that
what I was
point.
saying. I'm sure like every week, it was probably every weekend occurrence, not so much to Kaylee and Maddie's and Xana's house, but to that area, the sorority and fraternity area.
Well, if you notice, there's some. I'm glad you're playing this because I watched it alone last night, and even after the cops get there, you still hear people screaming. So I wonder, like, think about this, you guys. Is that screaming coming from inside that house? Because if it is, you could hear it vividly.
Yes, that's what I had mentioned in the beginning, that it sounded like an amphitheater, that you could hear the people yelling. And
Right.
so if that's the case, that I don't see how, and again, I don't want to say that they're guilty, but I don't know how the roommates couldn't hear that.
So your mind's where mine was. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's you can even, if you watch it, because I watched it like 3 times, you can even hear them talking inside. Like, I mean, those walls are thin.
Yeah, and they shut the door on the cops, so you can hear things with the doors shut.
Yeah, I could even like the song and everything. I mean, but them screaming really, really made me just wonder a lot last night while I was watching that. I was like, it's so clear. And another thing, just as being observant, something that I did notice as well, though, is it's very dark out there.
That's one of the things that the neighbor liked. I think it was Enon. He said how dark it was, that he liked it that night or something because of that. Do you remember he said a strange remark about that?
Yeah, that you sleep good. That he enjoyed how dark it was in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they must have like recently put street lights everywhere, because you think about when Brian Enton's out there or anybody else at night, it's lit up like a Christmas tree outside. The whole neighborhood. But so yeah, I don't know. Sorry, that's just the first time I've got to talk to anybody about that video.
Have you heard the other from Plunder where it shows like another scream? I know I talked to Mallory about it and everyone in chat. So there's so many of these different scream videos now. There's like 3 of them, but it shows the 3 different guys with an officer. I'm sure they have like flannels on, and it shows them because they're drinking in public. And you can hear, this isn't the one where they say stop it, that's a different one, but you can hear a scream in the background. Has everyone heard that? And have you heard that, Brittany?
So I watched that and I can't hear it, but a lot of people say they can.
Yeah, I heard. Did you hear it, Mallory? Oh, Mallory, I think you said you heard it, but you didn't think that it was anything bad, right?
I only heard it on one video. So there was a video, I think, that like enhanced the sound, and even with the enhanced sound you could barely hear it. But I didn't hear it in a lot of the ones that originally came out.
Excuse me, sorry. Real quick with Angela Luster, because I just saw something she said in chat. That front room with the orange curtains, the bottom right room on the first floor, it does appear to be empty when the cops glare through the window. But Mallory and I were talking about that earlier today, and like Mallory said, that would make sense because that would have been Dylan's room. And from our understanding, Dylan hadn't moved in yet at that moment. So
well, I was talking to T about this too. And Teresa reminded me that Dylan was up in that second floor room for a while.
Oh yeah, that's right. So maybe, I don't know. And that was only right, from my understanding, Bethany's first couple of nights there.
That's what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but people are saying she
Yeah,
had lived there long.
That was, I think, September 21st. I'm not. That's what I saw. It might have been a different date. But so she moved in, and she was only there 2 months then, when it happened, or like 6 weeks then when it happened.
So I think, yeah, because now that body cam we just watched, I think that is September the 1st.
And I forgot until a minute ago that I could highlight comments. That's why you are now seeing it, because I completely forgot.
I mean, I could totally see them using that bottom room for storage, like I don't at that point anyway. But to me, it's always been a question about that second room upstairs on the second floor. If anybody was occupying it or not.
And why Dylan moved from the second floor to the first floor.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who would want to be up? Me personally, let's take the murder out completely of the equation. I would not want to stay on that bottom flour.
Oh, I would not want to either, because I could feel someone could just easily get. I would always want to be on the second floor because I feel that that's safer if somebody just walking in. And in this case, it was the opposite, the complete opposite.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I would think that, the very bottom floor would be the least safe. But yeah, you're right. It ended up being very different this time.
So let me play another video, and then I wanted to show something else as well. Just one moment.
Sparkly unicorn, on which ones were very small? The bottom floor or the second floor? That's what I was thinking too, Liza. The first floor had more privacy.
I think Maddie had a tiny room. Maddie's room looked like if you look at that visual that someone made, the CGI, that room seriously looks like it's big enough for a full-size bed, and that's it.
I think Kaylee had the biggest room, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
she had the master up on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
And then Maddie's was tiny. Do you think Maddie was in the house when she talked to that officer?
Oh, yeah, and I asked everyone in chat, and almost everyone said yes. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear it in chat and on panel, please.
Crime experts in the USA. Professor
Yes.
Jordan, Professor Lawrence Kobolinsky, retired NYPD homicide detective Alfred Titus, and retired FBI Special Agent Maureen O'Connell. And what they're saying about the slayings of 4 college kids is eye-opening.
People don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to get a knife and go kill 4 people just to see what it feels like.
No leads, no suspect, no person of interest yet. We dealing with a serial killer?
I'm hoping that what is happening here is that the police do have information that they just cannot give out because it's still part of the investigation, and that it's not some madman out there looking to kill college students.
The order of the killing is very important. Oftentimes, when it's a multiple homicide, you're looking at who was killed first.
The number of wounds is also potentially significant.
Let's say one person is stabbed 20 times more than the other. We could assume at that point, but it would obviously have to be supported by investigation, that that person was likely the intended target.
Dr. Jordan suggests the killer has been gradually building up to committing this monstrous deed.
When you see a massacre of this caliber, the stabbing deaths of 4 people in one location, it's relatively rare that this is the first go-to crime for that particular offender. Very often things happen in stages and the person gains confidence over time.
Kobolinsky and Titus, both professors at John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York, believe it's likely the killer knew his victims. Is it possible this is just somebody passing through town who seized on an opportunity?
It's doubtful. It's doubtful that this is somebody that just randomly chose this house to go to. There is a possibility that this is a revenge type of killing, perhaps a grudge of some sort.
But Dr. Jordan and Agent O'Connell say they don't discount it's a serial killer.
There is no way that a person, for the very first time they're committing a crime, murders 4 people. That did not happen.
This person, most likely a man, has been thinking about it, dreaming about it, fantasizing about it for a very long time.
Wow, that was interesting.
I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
because they did bring up SK.
So, because we talked about this so much, me and you've done it together. For me, like, I've always thought that it was somebody that they knew or that knows them. But like, with you covering this SK aspect, it really has gotten me going a little in my thoughts about maybe what if I'm not on board with the SK, but I could see this turning into that if they don't find out who it is.
Yeah, that's what I think that. Yeah, that I think that right now it could be a mass M, and if they don't catch them, they could turn very confident and end up turning into an SK.
Exactly, because like somebody who I hate to use this example, but like, have you ever heard of a vicious dog got its first taste of blood, and then like the owner has to put him down because he's dangerous after that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Now he's done it. He's familiar with it, and God forbid, what if he liked it too much? It takes a very sick individual to do this to begin with.
Right.
So Mallory's probably sleepy, you guys, because she's got work in the morning. So Just
No, I'm not sleepy. I'm good.
You
There
got
you go.
good. You are sleepy, Mallory. She
No,
already
I'm
told
not.
me
I'm
that
not.
beforehand. I'm
Well, I'm
trying to
not.
get one other thing. What was that?
I was just gonna say no. I'm not. I'm not sleepy. I'm good.
I love you. What do you think, Valerie? Are you on the same page with me with that? Like you think that it's not necessarily someone who's done this before?
I mean, it's crazy, just like they said in the video, for them to go from never killing anyone to going to kill 4 people. I mean, that does seem like a big stretch, but I don't know, unless they were related to the coyotes that were killed. Anyone in chat that doesn't know about it, there was a sweet dog named Buddy that I don't even want to say what happened to it, but
Tortured him. Leave it at
they
that.
tortured him, yeah, and there was coyotes that have been found. They don't know, they don't think it's related, so I don't know if that person was starting out on the animals and then went to people after. But it does seem crazy to go from nothing to 4. But I do see what they said in that video about possibly a revenge killing.
Yeah.
What do you think about it being a revenge killing, Mallory?
In what
And
aspect?
And if it was a revenge killing, who do you think that it would have been on? Like all of them, or just like one of them? And that then would have been targeted.
It depends on. I mean, there's lots of different types of revenge. I mean, there's definitely revenge where more than one person in the house did something to someone, and then they just were like, well, whoever gets in my way gets in my way, and I'm getting my targets. Or there's one person, and it's the same type of thing, though. If it's anything that's revenge, it wouldn't matter who it was. Um, you know what I mean? They would still do the same thing of like attacking everyone.
Oh, I know for a fact that Valerie has Venmo. I know for a solid fact. You have Cash App or PayPal?
What was that?
You have Cash App or PayPal?
No.
She has Venmo, you guys.
I'm reading what Brandy said. I'm still leaning towards more than one, a revenge or jealousy of sorts. I think there were 2 targets and the other 2 collateral. Ethan was definitely trying to protect Xana. So, I actually think that Xana might have been trying to protect Ethan, because I mean, I don't, well, and herself, because I think Ethan got that he got attacked before Xana,
I
because
do too.
because he was the bigger threat in the room of the 2,
Mhm.
definitely. But so I know a lot of people are starting to lean towards 2 killers now. What about in chat and Brittany and Mallory? Are you still thinking 1 or possibly 2, like a lookout maybe? Because they had to make sure that, but I mean, I'm still thinking 1, I don't know, but I do see what they're saying, revenge or jealousy of sorts. I
Yeah.
think there were 2 targets they're saying. But yeah, what are your thoughts? And in chat.
I think, well, when the case first happened, I was very strict on the aspect of it was one person. And I think as time has come out, and it's not even wrong information that has come out, but the potential scenarios that people have put out there, whether that be on the Reddit or the Facebook groups, have kind of like shown me different aspects that I wouldn't have looked at before that would say it could have possibly been 2 people. And but I still see how it could have just been 1. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that's the one thing about this case is I have no feeling either way. So I guess if the person is not from there, I would say more than 1 because then I'd say there'd have to be a lookout and a person. If the person lived close by, I'd say the person just went in and got really, really lucky when it came to succeeding with what they succeeded with, if that makes sense.
I think oh my God, okay, somebody in chat said rage, and I'm with you. I think it was rage. But I don't know why. I just don't feel it that two people went in that night. But what I do think happened, I think we have one who committed the act, but there are quite a few who know what happened, if that makes any sense.
I agree. I think a lot of people know what happened, or at least, like, even how we have stuff that comes out in, like, in the groups and on Reddit and 4chan. Like, imagine people who actually have more knowledge than what's out in the public, and the types of scenarios that they would be able to come up with, that they're actually able to talk to people and be like, where was this person? And they're like, oh, they were gone. Or, oh yeah, they were in town, or something like that, where they can make better scenarios. You know what I mean? I find that interesting. And to that aspect, I think that more people know. But I don't know how many people know every specific of it. You know what I mean?
So Sis Vicious says, if this was a first time kill, I believe it was a group. More than one. If it was a solo perp, I believe it was a thrill kill and either not their first violent crime or perhaps the first graduations to M.
Wow. Okay.
And hi, Sis Vicious.
Hi, sis.
I'm going over what she said.
Oh, Delana said, Valerie, did you see my message?
Yeah, it's in my description. I didn't know where else to put it, so I have to figure out where to put it. I don't know if you can see it in there.
You can pin it in your chat, or you can give it to your mods and let us share it periodically through your chat.
Okay. When you guys are talking about something else, maybe I can grab that. Let me see it. Let me try and go over this real quick. So, do you think this was a thrill kill for someone or no? Because it seems
thrill.
Yeah, I don't think
Not
4
without a
people.
target.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know about 4 people being a thrill kill.
I think it could have turned into a thrill kill, but I don't think a person wanting a thrill kill just went into a house and did it. I could say whoever it was had a reason to go to the house with a target in mind.
Oh, yes.
And then enjoyed it, and then it turned into a thrill kill type of thing. But I don't think it started off as one.
Or okay, let's go with Sis's scenario, right? Let's say what Sis said happened. Then there would be no doubt in my mind it was a fraternity thing. Or yeah, that would make me wonder if like a certain fraternity had, or not maybe the fraternity itself, but members of a particular fraternity. To have a group of people in sync like that, I don't know. Maybe it's not fair to say that, but that's where my mind goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, if it did happen and it was someone that lives in a house with whatever, 40 other people, there's a higher probability that someone would have encountered them right after, to the point where some type of explanation would have had to have been said.
Yeah, and so there was one other video that I did want to go over, but I'm trying to think what else. Okay, what if the white car was a female that drove the killer there? So yeah, that's why I'm thinking here. I'll pin that. That's Olivia said that. So that's why I'm thinking there could be possibly more than one accomplice, but maybe they didn't actually get quote unquote blood. I mean, blood on their hands.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? They did, but they didn't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. We love you too, Angelina Dawn. Thank you. That was very sweet. Um, that's I never even considered like a female accomplice. That is a good theory.
Well, if it's a whole jealousy type of thing, then I could see that.
Yeah. Well, so here's my thing, and it's hard. It's you're not allowed to really say a lot because people get mad, but I mean, you're talking about 5 girls that live together. I'm a woman. I know how girls are. I grew up with them. And I mean, did anybody ever even look and see if any of these girls had, bad blood between them? Like maybe any of the surviving roommates and
Well,
the roommates?
just from what I've seen, it seems like Bethany and Dylan were the closest with each other, and Kaylee and Maddie were the closest. So and from what I've also read, that Bethany and Dylan were more quiet and like said they weren't as like outgoing as Kaylee and Maddie. So they were just kind of different. They are different personalities. It seems like. Did you get that vibe too, Mallory? And that's just stuff that, did Mallory leave us?
No,
That's just, that's just stuff that also that I've read, and that's also why they wanted like a lot of Fleur, that they were just kind of different types, that they didn't party as much, even though I have seen pictures of them partying and stuff. But what was that?
Sorry.
No, what did you say?
I was just gonna say it really bothers me so much that and I'm sorry if I'm talking louder than normal. My ears are being wonky. But it really bothers me that there was nothing in Dylan's speech about Maddie. I mean, not Maddie, I'm sorry. Kaylee at all. Not like literally the only thing she said about Kaylee is her and Maddie were close. They were tight. I mean, and she even admitted she didn't know. She wished she had an opportunity to get to know Ethan more, and she still had like a ton to say about him, and nothing about Kaylee at all.
The way that the families have been calling out one person's name and then not another, like a lot of the family members have posted tributes to like one person and then it's not their family member, like in a weird way. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to throw any names out there and be like, why did they do that? But like there's definitely been a few family members where they're related to one of the people, but all of their stuff on their stories and stuff is about like a different person, which is fine. People can be close to other people, but like I mean, I guess nothing like this has really happened for us to be able to see how people react, but it's just one of those things where when you see it, you're like, oh,
it does stick out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those things that's not. Yeah, it's not when you go on to like a sibling of one of the people's social media and they're talking about someone else before their sibling or instead of their sibling. You know what I mean?
You would think it would be both of them. It's only one.
Or like if you're gonna do one and then the other, you know what I mean? Like I could get like single ones, but to just post about one instead of the other is weird. And it's just one of those things, part of this case, that like I just can't understand.
That's what I'm struggling with.
Yeah. And you're right. They could just, feel just as responsible. Yeah.
So I have Ellen that wants to come up. I don't know how to do the overlay, Brittany, so I hope that we're not going to have a problem. Oh no, she left. So never mind. But
no problem.
I don't know how to do the overlay.
Okay, so backstage you see where it says brand. if you scroll down, you'll see overlay. And then it'll give you an option to put like a picture there. If you got any random picture, I mean, it could be of a flower, it doesn't matter. You should be able to click add and it give you an option to add that. And then if someone comes up, you click on that picture and it'll cover your screen. Or if people like, if you don't mind, if Valerie, like while you're backstage, you could turn your camera on and show Valerie that it's you, just wave at her and then turn it back off before she adds you. That's another way you can do it.
Yeah, I won't add you to the screen with your camera on, I promise.
Yeah, only she can see you when you're backstage.
Vanessa, supposedly it was Xana's.
You beat me to it because my mic my mic was muted. Damn it, Mallory.
I'm sorry.
That
You
bothers
speak
me
too
too.
quickly.
Does that bother you guys, or does that make you like?
Yes, I think that's very odd.
Then
And
I'm
that
like, yeah.
What?
about how Xana's dad fixed the lock right beforehand.
And see, we haven't got to hear him explain anything about it. It was just her mom that brought it up, right? Wasn't that her mom yes, it was
Yeah, her mom brought that up in the phone call. And
Yeah.
clumsy clairvoyance. Yes, I heard that Ethan's brother was there as well, but that hasn't been confirmed. Correct, right, Brittany?
Yeah, it hasn't been confirmed. But there was something that was said. I think it was one of
Okay,
the
clumsy or not clumsy to Ellen. Sorry, what was that, Brittany?
No, I was just gonna say I've heard something from law enforcement's mouth, like they were speaking about it in jest, mentioning that a loved one was there. So I'm gonna guess, yeah, it was Ethan's brother.
And if he lives right there, I mean, I'd imagine they would call him over.
Yeah.
Well, especially because it's not like, because a lot of times it would be like an older sibling or a younger sibling, and then it wouldn't be. But the fact that they were triplets, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That there's a higher probability that they all actually were shared friends.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi, I just wanted to say, first of all, I came over from Brittany's channel. She brought a bunch of people over with her, so I just wanted to thank her for that.
I am forever grateful.
I was getting ready to go to sleep, and I heard her telling Mallory she had to go to sleep for work, but I was like, I'm going to go over here and see what they're doing.
Yeah, this is just going to be short. We just want to go over the body cam and just chat for a few.
That body cam, I really think that they were in that house and didn't want to come face the cops. You know how girls sometimes will get, especially if you're scared that you're going to get in trouble for letting people underage drink or anything like that, or you don't know if they were smoking weed or something. Like, I just think they were in the house, definitely. But I think that is a really loud little town that they got going on there. I think them cops were very nice.
Yes.
And I was saying earlier in chat, where I'm at 8:30 in September, it's just starting to get dark. And for it to be that dark there, can you imagine what it was like now, how dark it would be?
Right.
Yeah.
That it really stuck out to me how dark it is around there in that body cam footage, because like this whole time I've been saying it's so well lit. Well, duh, now it is, but obviously in that picture it's not at all, because even in the body cam when they first get out of the car, You don't see those two girls walking across the yard until they shine the light on them.
It's pitch black.
Black.
Yep.
And then I'm thinking, like, I really want to know if all of the screaming that we hear is from that house or is it around the neighborhood?
I think it's from the house.
That's crazy.
I mean, we could play. It is in the beginning. We can maybe play that again to see how loud that is. But I was also going to play the other video of them walking. And I agree that Maddie was. I think she definitely was in the house. Even like if I'm doing nothing wrong and I see cops, say I'm in 7-Eleven, I get nervous. Like I'm just always nervous of police. That's
Well,
just
look,
how I
know
am.
I know it's a party house, but I refuse to believe that those girls, the older ones, are just going to leave their house open to people. You know what I mean? Like those boys said that all of the people who lived there had left and went to another party, and I'm like, those girls are not leaving their house open to random people. They're just
And
not doing it.
They even said we checked everywhere. Them doors would be locked if I wasn't there and there was people just coming in and out.
Exactly. And if you notice, they were even on the balcony on that's Kaylee's room.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Kaylee's just letting them go through her room like that? No.
It was hi Jesse. It was a spur of the moment live. So yeah, that's why you didn't get a notification. I'm sorry about that. Sorry, guys.
Somebody in chat too, Mallory, just said that the lock on the door in that body cam that you played is different than the lock that's on there now.
Yeah, I read that. So I think we're gonna have to watch it again.
I sent you a still shot of that in our group thing today.
Poor Bethany, she was like a deer in headlights.
I
Didn't know
know.
what to do. I wonder who dropped that beer and ran. Because did you see all of those cans of Truly he poured out?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was almost the whole case.
Yeah.
He said it
And
was
then he
full.
took the rest home. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We have to confiscate this. It's coming with me.
He even said there's
evidence for the evidence locker.
Yeah. That's now also his personal locker.
I wonder how pissed they were that all their alcohol was poured out.
Oh, I'm sure.
I wonder if they had to do that or they got pissed off because they were left hanging, standing outside, and that's why they poured it out. Because they put it to the side at first.
They said it was
I know
abandoned
that's
property.
I couldn't believe they still shut the door when the cops said leave this open.
I know. Closed it right on them. These are entitled kids, though.
Yes.
Like we seen how officers are harsher to me with a speeding ticket. You know, like with the body cam, with the 4 boys and this body cam, they're treated, you know, a lot
Very
nicer
well.
than they should be.
Yes.
Well, and I think, like I said, it's just more of they're over it and they're just like, well, oh, look, they left it here. They want to run away and they don't want to talk to us. Fine. It's abandoned property. Like, they're probably being like dicks about it. But like at the same time, you kind of get that.
The one cop said he's been a cop for 22 years. He's probably seen this a million times.
Yeah, he's like, don't sit here and tell me this isn't a sorority house.
Oh yeah, I think this is, like I said, an everyday weekend occurrence for them.
It is interesting though, because it does sound like these particular cops did not have, like, they didn't go there before, because they were like, who lives here? Is it guys or girls? Blah blah blah. And then if you think about it, it's kind of an off-campus sorority house, but not to a great extent, because technically there's a bunch of sororities that live in there. Like, so it's a sorority house, but not like a sorority house for one sorority.
Yeah.
Can they get in trouble? Does anyone know if the cops can get in trouble for not IDing people? Like how this one just randomly comes out and it shows like, we're not here for underage drinking, even though we know you're underage drinking, but we're here for something else. Like, can the cops get in trouble now that this comes out public?
If it
Or
was anywhere around where I live, there's no way that they would leave people in that house and hadn't talked to who actually lives there and got ID'd. Just
like
by
No.
putting somebody on the
college?
phone, it could be anybody.
Yeah, if that would have been Bethany where I live, that first thing they would have told her is, you got your ID?
Yeah.
And they would ask her information. And they would run everybody's name
Yep,
that's
yep.
there to make sure nobody's got outstanding warrants and stuff.
Sorority and fraternity kids do not get treated the same as regular students by police. It is very political. Moonstar, that's a good point.
Shoot, if you get pulled over here or in the state of Georgia, I can speak for both because I've lived in both. They'll run everybody's name in your car.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised they didn't wait there until she got home. Like said, you need to come home now because you're leaving trespassers in her house.
But technically, if she knows and has given them the okay and then tells the police over the phone that it's okay, then technically they're no longer trespassers.
But the one kid said he doesn't even know who lives there's name.
But if she said, yeah, there's a party there, people are allowed to be there, it's cool.
But she don't own the property. I mean, I don't know. It just sounds crazy to me.
Well, and it I also wonder, because I don't know anything about the different leases, but if, like, say Maddie lives there, yes, and she pays rent, but if she's paying rent to Kaylee's the one that's on the lease and not any of the other people, wouldn't it be Kaylee that would have to be there? Or, like, how would that work?
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure she was subleasing to all of them.
Kaylee?
That's what I think. Or
Well, Kaylee was the only one that actually had the King Road address as one of her, like, addresses. None of the
and
rest
she had the master. I don't know if you'd call it the master
yeah.
bedroom, but she had the biggest room of the house with the balcony.
Yeah. So that was also my thing of like, okay, yeah, Maddie lives there. And I guess they didn't say, let's see the homeowner, because then it would have had to have been Kaylee.
Yeah.
And no, Kaylee did not move out already, no.
I guess we'll play it again. There are some more people that weren't here before, and so we can go over it more. And also, let's listen to see, like you said, Brittany, about the screams. Even though, this is not that night, everyone. This is in September. This is so, like, 6 weeks before. So just how the noise carries in there. Let's pay attention to that.
And just the fact that if people are getting so used to all this screaming, then people wouldn't have heard what was actually going on besides the roommates, you know.
I was thinking
they'd
that
be so
too.
used to it. Yeah.
Good point.
Just give me 1 minute, because I closed it, so I have to go back and get it. 1 minute.
You're good.
Top threatens to report this to the Greek Council. He did threaten to report it to the Greek Council.
But if it's an off-campus house, even if they're associated, if the Greek, like, if their sorority doesn't, like, have anything on the lease, then it wouldn't matter, I don't think, other than, like, morally on their side. But
Are these definitely actual police and not just college campus police?
oh, I thought you were going to ask if they were strippers.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Actually, these are
No.
strippers.
Now, you know how there's sometimes college campus police?
Yeah.
But do you know which ones these are?
I think they're the real police.
I think that it looks like one of the officers that's actually working the case now. But oh, we didn't even finish watching the body cam, by the way. We were only at like 9 minutes. But yeah, I'll just start it over. But we were only halfway through.
Someone said the University of Idaho does not have university police.
Okay.
Oh, so they just used Moscow?
Yeah, they are Moscow PD.
Well, they had the whole force outside of Sigma Chi then, because oh my, that was 9 cars,
That was crazy looking, yeah.
wasn't it?
Are they getting threatened now, like the kids?
That's what we're guessing.
I just couldn't. There was so many cops there. It just seemed like they're being threatened.
I know that the fraternities hired private security.
Mama Bear. Mama Bear said, "Strippers, play on."
I wonder how many of these people had the code to the house. I'm curious. I just wonder how many. I mean, I'm sure that it was unlocked this night, so you didn't need it for the party. But I bet a lot of these people did have the code.
Right.
I think a lot had the code. I really do. I mean, even if you are over there and you're just, somebody that knows the people that live there, and your friends coming over, you might text them the code, and that just goes on and on and on. I think that people knew that code.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Makes me wonder who called in the noise complaint.
I know. Now, Truth and
Who called-
Transparency said she knew, but she wasn't going to put their name out there.
Yeah.
What if it was Sick Flow?
Oh my God. And I did see that people were thinking that he might be Poncho Guy. You know how you're like, but I don't know if I'm not convinced, but I have seen a side-by-side picture. Yeah, but I don't know how I feel. But they do look similar. Whether it is people who don't know what I'm talking about are probably so confused, but I know that at least Mallory and Brittany know what I'm talking about.
He's not Poncho Guy. They have the same glasses, nose, and everything.
So it's the doppelganger.
Like, I think he's Poncho Guy.
Okay, well then I'm at least the first one to have called it. So I called one thing in this case.
Tom says obsessed has a really good.
Not him.
I think you did a really good job I think it was last night, Britt, with that Roy boy, because I felt really bad for him once that came out that was not what that was intended to be.
Yeah, I just only wish that I would have had more of I didn't know that he was going to come up, or I would have been able to ask better questions. That was very on the spot.
We'll have him up again for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know I don't know what Brittany thinks, but he'll have,
you're going to bring him up on yours too, right? So
he'll come up here for sure.
He seems very nice.
Yeah. And he's really well spoken. And he's from the area, or Boise. Lady Tinkerbell. So I don't believe it was, but when I saw on the body cam the guy answer the door, it looked just like Jack S to me too. Did you guys think that also?
I don't see it.
I thought it looked like Jack S.
No, that guy had more of like a, how do I say this without being mean?
Just be mean. I'm just kidding.
He was just Jack S has like a cooler vibe.
Nothing top.
More of like a jock.
Jack S would have had a backwards hat on, definitely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He has more of like a jock look.
Yes.
And then like
taller too.
I'm trying to say it nicely, like I have a word. That that guy just seemed a little bit more noodly.
Yes.
Noodly? I love it.
You know what I mean though? Like Jack S looks like he carries himself very strong. Like I'm like a jock. And the guy that came to the door was very much like talking with his hands and you know what I mean? Well, not even like no, not dorky. I didn't think he looked dorky, but it was more just like more
I
motion.
know I get what you're saying. I chat probably gets what you're saying, but I get what you're saying.
Jackass would walk around with his chest out.
Or
Well, he's
Jackass had more
yeah.
style, kind of.
This
Yeah,
guy is a
more
little
like
more
an
grown in.
skater guy versus like a guy
Yeah.
that plays football. Yeah. No, jet like no.
What Tom wrote, vanilla question mark.
No, not even that. Mostly because I think of okay, because I do think of Vanilla Ice when you say that, and that's kind of the vibe I was thinking.
Oh God.
That's gonna. I almost started singing the song, but I stopped myself, and I'm so happy I did.
The new guy.
That's exactly right. He wants to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
That is
Oh my God.
exactly.
And I wanted to throw something at them when they kept talking. I was like, "Stop! You just stop it. You're making yourself look worse. Just stop." You know, they're like, "We didn't lie to you," and like these officers are just sitting there rolling their eyes. You definitely
Right?
lied. You definitely lied.
Okay, I will play it now. Just one moment. I said that like 20 minutes ago. Sorry, everybody.
Yes.
Hey, ladies, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
We're not actually. I don't
You don't
know.
look a little here?
No, I don't.
Here for noise complaints.
Yeah, they did.
Get on the damn door.
Hey, who's the owner or who lives here?
I can go get them real quick.
Okay, thank you, please.
Please. This is what the other group had that ran away.
Oh, really?
They just ditched it. Awesome. So those ones kept walking in the car, and the other one grabbed the back corner.
Can I say something, Val?
There's a lot of fucking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
It's off with it. Can you pause it for a minute?
Yeah.
Something's off with the color.
Well, did you hear me say, Val, can you pause it for a minute? And then Britt came in and said, pause it for a minute.
I heard you. That's why I said it.
Oh.
I was looking out.
I was gonna say, I think they get the police get gradually more pissed in this situation.
Yeah.
Because Bethany answered the door and said, "Yeah, I'll go get them." Closed the door, and then someone comes back and says they're not here. So one of those two lied to them, and they already know it.
Yep.
So I think that's why.
And cops, they usually can tell if they're being lied to.
Yeah.
Valerie, where are you watching this at? Because you can't see Bethany, and the one I watched last night, you could see her clearly. It's almost like the lighting or the colors off on that video.
I pulled a U. I'm talking on mute. From ATS News.
Okay, go
and
to
subscribe to her channel, everybody, if you're not already.
Go to Truth and Transparency and play her. She's the one that put it out.
She's okay with that?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's why she said her watermark's her picture. Lena, if you hear this, don't strike Valerie. I'm asking her to do this.
Please don't strike me.
Lena's not going to strike you.
Okay, one moment. You guys chat while I get it.
About what?
I was just figured if she
21 questions. Or I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Okay, Britt,
If
ask
she
me a question.
you can't put me on the spot like that. It don't work.
Yeah, Brittany, how does it
brain goes
feel?
Someone said there's multiple camera angles, so maybe it's another person's camera. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason that I told her to use Lana's that way y'all can see, or we all can see. You can see Bethany, and you can see everything a little clearer because you couldn't see her at all in that one, and like you want to be able to see everything. So, I mean, if y'all are okay with that one, it's up to y'all. I just figured you'd want to see the one that.
Britt, can you tell I think it's Delina in the mods with who we're using so they can drop the link?
Yeah, Delana, it's Truth and Transparency. Lana's that's her channel. It's called the Truth and Transparency.
Hey, Britt, do you have a wrench?
I do.
Can you put my email out for Ashley Oaks?
Can you drop it in back chat?
Yeah.
So I talk to you directly. I don't email you.
Mallory forgot she was talking to Brittany.
I've got the privilege of instant access with Mallory. So I've never emailed her.
Except for she has yet to call me on her actual phone.
Sorry.
I have it up. She actually has 2 different body cams, but this is the one that we were talking about. So let me play it and let me know if you can see better on this one, and also if you could hear it. So in chat, if you could put a 1, and on panel, if you can let me know also.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hey, be 2 seconds. If I fall off, just be looking for me backstage. I'm gonna go drop Mallory's link in your chat.
Just so you know, I come in as Ellie on your chat, and I'm on my phone, so I have my other name. That's why, because I just dropped, what I put a 1.
Okay, well, once the video's playing, it's hard to see if someone's backstage. So, Brittany, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm not going to be able to see you backstage once the video is playing. Do you want me to wait?
It worked. You're good. You can
Okay.
go on.
Okay. We love Delana too. Did I say it right that time, Delana? Not Delana?
Delana wants to know, can she send a pic to Ashley on Discord?
The one from Ashley. Yeah, you guys, you can send it to me either on email, Discord, or any of my social media. It's just my name.
Thank you, Greg.
I don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything either. But so this is the one from Truth and Transparency. And the volume is up. Let me check it again.
Girl, what is wrong with you, Lana? It was working last night.
Yeah, I have the volume on. Okay, wait. Now it's okay. Now it's on. I swear I didn't do anything different, but now it's on. You guys can hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the heck? No.
Okay, this is another video she had.
Just,
I don't know.
just
She
like
has 2
just
videos.
like ATS news. I'm sorry.
What are you
I don't
doing to
even
me,
think
Brittany?
I don't know. It worked. I promise y'all, it worked last night. I watched it 5 times.
Wear short shorts, Jim.
I
You said
know.
short
Like,
shorts.
are they having like some type of? It must be like some type of theme, right? Because all of them, even what's her face has got short shorts on with a
Oh,
body.
Bethany. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just an average thing. Like in the summer, I have short. Like I mean, and it was September. I don't know how hot it gets in Idaho in September. She had 2 body cam ones though, so I don't know what. Maybe that was just one of the other ones. But now I'm kind of nervous. Should I
Just go
just go
to
back to Amber's?
Yeah, because the other one she talks over. She had
Yeah.
one where it just played, and then another she commentated.
Okay. Yeah. And Amber
I
does.
was trying to make it where we could see Bethany, but it ain't that important. Not to the point where you got to go through drama.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go to Amber, and like I said, subscribe to her.
Sorry,
No problem. It's okay. Sorry about that, everyone.
Lord, I thought I was doing a favor. Actually, though, I will say this. She mentioned that there's more than one, which makes me want to try to get them myself.
Yeah, it says 3 different views.
I mean, like, the way that I understood it, there's multiple house calls, like different days.
Oh.
Where they had different noise ordinances or whatever. Which, I mean, they said what? That house and another house was the 2 party houses on the block. Did y'all see that?
Hopefully, I have the right one now. Sorry that it's dark.
I can look how dark it is there.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I mean, that is for a killer, that is a good spot to, I don't want to say for them, I mean, for anyone to go hunt a prey, like that would be an ideal spot.
You can see right into their windows.
That's what I
Right?
want to ask. What girls do you know aren't afraid of having the windows exposed like that? I've even as a kid to adulthood, I've always had to have blinds and curtains on my windows.
Yeah, and
Like,
Britt, you're in a rural area, right? I know you can't say that word. In a rural area, and I'm in like a city type of thing, and yes, we needed stuff on our windows all the time too.
yeah, I could be out in the middle of nowhere, and there's still gonna be something on my windows like that. You feel vulnerable and exposed, or at least I know I do. I'm surprised.
I have been to places, like I know someone that lived in Oregon, and they had like nothing on their windows, and I was freaked out. And they're like, well, we're in the middle of, but they were in the middle of nowhere though, so maybe that was totally different. That's not like where there's people, neighbors all around. But even there, I was freaked out with them not having blinds and curtains and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it was just, it's a creepy feeling. But maybe here I have no idea.
Well, because imagine being in there. You can't see anything outside, but anything outside could see you. You light up like a Christmas tree.
Absolutely. And like you said, there just could be anybody. You can't. It's so dark, you can't see anything. Anybody could be watching you.
Yeah, and the way that those hills roll, kind of the rolling hills in that neighborhood, like Sigma Chi. Think about where it's at, and how versus like you can see that house from so many different angles. of that
Yeah.
neighborhood.
And we've heard multiple neighbors say how they could see inside their windows.
Yeah.
So just imagine how many voyeurs they really possibly had.
Oh my God.
I really wish we could find out what she said to Adam. I'm sorry. I said I really wish we could find out what she said to Adam. It's driving me crazy.
I was thinking maybe it had to do with hooking up with someone or something like that. What do you think?
That's where all my thoughts are going. Like, she told him everything, kind of thing. But I wish we knew more. I wish they would release more of that.
Yeah, I mean, Brittany, Mallory, and chat, what do you think she was talking about when she said I told him everything? What do you think they were talking about?
I'm convinced that that's the roommate of Jack's. They're saying it on Facebook, on some of the Facebook groups. We had that guy in my chat last night that called. We told him not to, but
Oh
he
my
did.
good, yes.
He made that call to the corner club, and he asked, was Adam Lauda there? And they said he doesn't work here anymore, allegedly. So let's say that it's if that, I mean, that would make perfect sense to me. So maybe Maddie told Adam Kaylee's not getting back with Jack or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was even something, I'm not going to say as simple of, but they'd been broken up and off and on. Maybe she hooked up with someone in between the breakup and wasn't going to tell Jack about it if they were going to get back together. It could have been something that didn't just happen, but that it got brought up. You know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking, that it had to do with the hookup. And even though they were in a split, maybe it was like a split, but still like where you don't kind of hook up with other people. Or at least you don't want that person to know. Oh my God.
Betty Jo, they said that he did say Adam was the bartender, but that doesn't mean that it's not Adam Lauda. I mean, college kids have jobs everywhere. And Ashley Oaks, I'd love for you to be a part of my Discord if you'd want to join us. I didn't even realize you weren't in it, but if you'd like to join our Discord, let me know and I'll get you a link.
Before you start playing, Valerie, I'm going to jump down and go back into chat. Thank you for having me up.
Thank you for coming up. Come up whenever you like. Thank you so much. Have a good night, and I'll see you in chat. Oh, and yes, I agree. I keep not knowing. I'm gonna have to look at our chat to make sure. Delana, I think it's Delana. She said a lot of drunk folks tell their bartender everything. It's true. They feel like how hairdressers are people's like therapists. So are bartenders.
Yep, and it's Delana.
Okay, perfect. Because I know it sounds weird in my head. In my head, I would always say Delana, and I know a few other creators say it that way too. So that's how I've been saying it for since the Watts days is Delana. But then I think said Delana one time, so now I'm always confused. But okay, Delana, got it.
Ashley, email me. Email me and I'll send you the link. Please. Okay, I'll stop talking now.
Damn, you
Oh no, you can always keep talking. You can, but I'll play it. But no, talk as much as you like.
Hey, ladies, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
We're not actually. I don't
You don't know who lives here?
know.
Am I back on Truth and Transparency?
No, I think this is Amber's.
I didn't think she had the two girls there. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, that's the beginning.
Okay, all right. I hope you're right. Let me see.
No, I
We're
don't.
just here for a noise complaint.
Yeah, they did.
Get on the damn door.
Hey, who's the owner or who lives here?
I can go get them real quick.
Okay, thank you, please.
Two leaves. This is what the other group had that ran away.
Oh, really?
They just ditched it. Awesome. So those ones kept walking in the car, and the other one grabbed the back corner. They ain't property. Check that back. There's a lot of fucking alcohol in there.
Mm-hmm.
What if you could earn double or even triple the
Moscow, I said, why? I don't know what sorority lives here.
We got an 1122.
Yeah.
That's what it is like. As soon as they have some tops, I look blend into the darkness.
Yeah. They're not going to come back. You think I'm going to leave? I saw that. We're only here for a noise complaint. Come to the damn door.
Teach you about dogs.
Start the search. I just rang the doorbell.
Here for a noise complaint. Whoever lives here needs to come talk to us, or we're going to start doing a lot more than just deal with
I will
noise.
go tell them.
Yeah, just tell them to come to the front door. We'll
Front
deal with
door?
the noise complaint, and we'll
Okay.
leave. Yep, thank you.
Yep.
Come to the door, guys. Send whoever lives here down to the door. Not leaving. We can also see you.
Yeah, for the most part. They're scared.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So I just looked for everyone that lived here, and they're not here right now.
No one's here that lives here at all.
No one's here that lives
So
here.
everyone here is trespassing?
Well, no one's here that's trespassing, but no one that lives here is here right now.
So where'd they go?
They're just not here. I have no clue where they went. No clue.
So you guys just throwing a party in their house at this
They were
time?
here
And
at one point. They're not here right now. I just
They
searched all the rooms.
They left and went over to some other party, and everyone is about to leave and go over to another party.
Okay. Who does live here? What are their names?
I am actually not sure. I live across the street. I just came over. I haven't drank a drop.
Male, female?
I think it's mainly females. I think it's like 4 females.
What sorority are they affiliated with?
I don't know.
I don't know if they're associated with the. I don't know.
So I guarantee you they're associated with the sorority. As many of them are living here. It's an off-campus sorority house. I've been a cop for 22 years here. I'm not stupid. Don't play dumb games with me. I'd rather deal with this as a noise complaint than getting a hold of the Greek council and the Greek board and all of that, and the students and playing all these stupid fucking games.
Do you?
I don't know.
Do you want?
It shows how important Greek life and sorority is there, because that's what he's like threatening him with, about how I don't want to get. Do you get what I'm saying? How he's saying, like, I don't want to get that involved. I mean, I could rewind it because I kind of screwed up with what he was saying, but that's what he's kind of threatening with his fraternity.
Yeah, and he's like, normally for us normies, they would tell us, yeah, he's gonna go to jail. But you seen how nervous they got when he mentioned the Greek
life. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wonder if these are frat boys.
Well, he said he lived across the street. So I would assume that would be the other house that they just party in, the one with the camera.
Yeah.
But is that considered a frat house?
Isn't that whole like neighborhood like a? I mean, I know we got Eden, the oddball that lives around there, but I think most of that neighborhood's college kids.
I do know that there are a couple families and kids that live in the apartment building.
Angels that like to keep control. Are the Greek council made up of Greek gods?
They act like it. I mean, honestly, though, from my understanding, if you're in a fraternity or a sorority and you make it through and all of that, like, you're pretty much set for life. So it opens you to opportunities that normally you wouldn't be able to have otherwise. So yeah, they do take it very seriously.
So Delana said he most definitely knows who lives there. Do you think he said it's a few sorority girls? So you think he knew who lives there, right? He just wasn't saying a name.
And I think that, well, yeah, because I mean, those girls, I mean, they probably do have people come in and out that they don't know, but one of them's at least got to know the person, I'd imagine, right? Or like, say these two guys right here, one of the girls knows one of the guys.
Exactly. I mean, he could have brought a friend, but one of them knows, a friend of a friend knows who lives there. Yeah.
So they just, I guess these two were the ones they said go down there and deal with it. And then now they're scared to death.
I hear Mallory falling asleep, so let me get through it real quick. Sorry, Mallory. And if you want to go to sleep, you can go to bed.
I was just going to say, I'll probably head off, but I'll be listening as I fall asleep.
Okay.
Love you,
Sweet dreams.
Thanks, guys. Love you. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Remember,
All
Britta,
right.
drive.
All right. Have
Be
a good
careful
night.
driving.
Wait, you have to drive. Oh, not tonight, but tomorrow.
You gotta
All
drive
right.
in the snow tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Drive safe.
I'll try. If not, you guys will be the first ones I call so I can see how Brittany reacts in an emergency situation.
Oh, stop it. Love you.
Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. But she's my I love her.
I know Mallory's great, and she's so nice, and she's amazing at research. She really, everything I go to tell her, she already knows. There's nothing I can surprise her with. There is not one thing I can surprise her with. If it's been out in the news for more than like a minute, she already knows it.
Yeah, that's why I don't even try. I'm just like, you tell me, girl.
Right?
Guarantee you there's a lot of underage drinking because they left their alcohol behind.
Do you want us to try and get a name or a phone number and
If
we
you
can
could.
call someone?
We just need to talk to somebody who lives here, because otherwise I have to be under the assumption you guys are unlawfully entered because no one who lives here is here.
Okay.
Right?
We'll go.
So I need to verify that there was a party here. Now everyone left.
We'll go get a phone number. We'll be right back.
Thanks,
Sorry, we're
guys.
not trying to make your life.
I understand. I just letting you know this is how it's going to play out. I'm not going anywhere until I talk to somebody.
We'll be right back. You guys mind just leaving the door open for us? That way we can get some sort of communication between us and them. We're not going to come in.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
No
do.
worries. And hey guys, really, we're just coming here for noise complaint. So we understand y'all drinking.
The
Right?
reason I apologize for no one coming to the door. The issue is we were trying to find the
Everyone's kind of freaked out because cops are here. You guys are having a good time, right?
Well, I've been at another house before and I went out and talked to the cops, but I wasn't the resident, so they just told me to go back inside, basically. So
No worries. So hey, just go ahead and get the contact. Thanks, man.
We'll be right back.
All right.
I wonder what did they. Oh.
And don't tell me this isn't a fucking off-campus sorority house.
I was seriously doing the same thing. Take all the campus back. Have a nice day.
They threw a big ass party with underage drinkers, and they all left and won't come to the door center and cooperative. Here are the names of the people who were there. They're here. There's a party somewhere.
Yeah, their music got real quiet.
Real fast.
Real fast. Noise complaint done.
The only one that I hear.
Yep.
They said they're going to go to Mark and guess what?
Huh?
Start dumping alcohol.
Good to go.
They abandoned property.
See, they done pissed them off. They're getting their alcohol poured out now. Oh. Did you hear him? He said they abandoned the alcohol. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're good. I was just saying he said they abandoned the alcohol. They probably wouldn't have done that, but they pissed them off lying to them and keep giving them the go around. Oh, absolutely, Lex. We've all, I'm freaking nervous for those kids.
I was all talking on mute again, but let me press play. It wasn't that important.
White Claws? White Claws. You're going to be so angry at me. They're cold, too. Man.
Yeah, these are cold.
Open one.
Hello.
You do that? Learn that from a college kid.
All right, Josh. Jordan, you talk to
Maddie. This is one of the owners that lives here. She's on the phone right now.
Hi, this is Officer Welsh from Moscow Police Department. Who am I speaking with? Maddie, 1 second. Let me turn the volume up on this phone here.
People want to be dumb.
All right, can you hear me, Maddie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Do you live at 1122 Queen Street?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, hey, the reason that we're here is that we received a noise complaint of loud music, partying. Okay. Once we approached the house, people started running away. They left a bunch of alcohol behind. We're not even coming for alcohol. We're coming for the noise complaint. And then we sat here for approximately 10 minutes trying to knock on the door. No one would come to the door until these two gentlemen came down and actually answered the door. So right now, if I can, I would like to collect your information, your name, number, your date of birth, and I'm guessing, and I want your current address also as well, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay. So let me go ahead and what's your first name? Maddie?
Could be, maybe.
And how do you spell that, Maddie?
My legal name is Madison. It's Madison.
What's your middle name, Madison?
May, May.
What's your last name?
Mogen, Mogen.
Mogen?
Yep.
Okay. What's your date of birth, Madison? Okay. And what's your current address?
1122 King Road.
Okay.
I'm a student.
And are you a student at U of I?
Yep.
Okay.
I will graduate with a bachelor's. I'm still getting my master's.
All right, Madison. So here's the deal. Okay. They've already said that no one here lives none of the occupants that live at this address are here right now. So now you have a house full of random people. You need to let them know that the noise needs to come down. Okay. We just received a noise complaint. We want that music turned down. And we don't want to come back again tonight. If we have to come back again tonight, then there's going to be even more problems. Okay.
I see both sides.
Sounds good. I'm just frustrated. I'm also so sorry once again.
I understand. Okay. It's just, I mean, if I were you guys, I'd probably just come home and make sure that whoever is partying here is keeping it down to a minimum. Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna take all of them.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to leave. Okay. And again, if I have to come back later tonight, like I said, I just want to express that there's going to be some citations given out. Okay.
Okay. Very clear. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. You enjoy your evening. All right.
You too.
Bye. All right, man. Here's your phone.
Thank you.
Hey, so, yep.
You already told her about noise?
Yep, already told her about noise. If we have to come back.
You guys can noise because you don't work here.
Yeah.
But I would probably strongly suggest that anyone else that's left here, they don't live here. Probably would just do it.
Thank you, guys.
If not, I'm going to come back.
We weren't lying to you guys. Like, no one lives here that we were just.
Yeah, they were here. They went to a party.
This would not be the first party I've ever gone to with people who live with me. And just let people stay. Why they do that, I don't know. To me, that would be stupid.
It happens
where I
pretty
live.
frequently.
I've done this for 20 years now.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But, yeah, we'll go let them know. And then make sure.
Just let them know I'm not going to stand out here and wait for them to come out and give them my keys or anything like that. But in the same term, tell them not to leave with alcohol.
Yeah.
That's the first way you're going to get us. Don't do stupid shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's not the first.
Did he just really say tell them not to leave the alcohol? You there?
I was talking with my with my mic off, but I was saying when I see the Truly cans, I think of Kylie Rodney. Because you know how the Truly can was in the back of her car.
So Truly, I'm not a drinker. Like the last time I had alcohol was 8 years ago. Like maybe after Neil, I had Neil. Not very long after I had him. Like it's been years. I don't drink. So I didn't even know what Truly was until Kylie. And then now like I see it everywhere. But
Same. That always happens with things. Like I won't have ever heard of something and then I'll hear it all the time after someone tells me about it.
Right. Yeah. And there's something, but I just noticed like these officers are so different than what I'm used to. Cause he's like, hey, tell them not to leave their beer behind. Like the officers in the other body cam was telling the guys, we know you're underage, you're going to drink, but just don't go outside when you do it. Be smart. Like never. Well, like they're telling them you're good. You can drink. Just don't do it publicly. It's crazy.
Good evening.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Good. So what did you think of the whole video that we just played?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and express my utter whiteness here This is nothing out of the ordinary. And what happens here, I see a double-edged sword, because when I was a kid, this was the type of stuff that would happen if you had a house party. The cops would show up, they break it down, they take everyone's beer, and tell you all to go home or leave or whatever. And and unfortunately, it was a good and not so good thing. But nowadays, they're liable if they do that. So these cops in this instance actually are putting themselves in liability, especially having on body cam. And that's what they used to do with us when we were kids. They would actually, like you mentioned before, Valerie. Yes, they totally would take the booze home. Trust me. My dad's friend was the chief of police.
Well, I think they do
and
that
s-
also with like marijuana and stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's,
The
I mean,
quote unquote evidence locker.
yeah, and so they had that type of stuff, and I think what these guys were doing, or these, if they were all men, so I'm not being sexist, I just said guys, but I think what they were trying to do was trying to be kind of as cool as they could, and in a college town, you need to realize too that this is on the nightly. And so they can't go ahead and drop the hammer on every party every single night. It's not going to work. And so what they're doing is they're managing it. And when they got called out for this noise complaint, they had to speak to a resident of the house to complete the complaint. That's the only reason they were staying there. They had to talk to someone. And once they talked to Maddie over the phone, which she was probably like 25 feet away in her bedroom, but once they talked to her, they can confirm that they spoke with a resident, and that's why they were able to close the complaint and leave.
Oh no, yeah, I agree completely. Brittany, were you listening also more that time to about the noise and everything?
Yeah, and it bothers me how well you can hear everything. Like, I don't know, somebody said in chat though, like when somebody it's not like a movie, people don't really scream. But if you're frightened, people scream when they're scared. And we had 3 girls, not one of them screamed.
Well, even if you're not, but you're gonna make some type of noise. I mean, unless it's where you're stabbed in a spot where you can't make a noise. But if if there's a struggle going on, there is going to be noise. There's going to be a shuffle. There's going to be something.
You remember in the beginning when the case first broke, maybe it was like a week or 2 in, there was like a seasoned homicide investigator. And I can't remember which news network it was. It was either News Nation or Fox, but they had him on and he said a crime of this magnitude is not going to be silent. It's not a quiet crime. Like, it's going to be very loud. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that? He said this particular homicide would not have been a quiet one.
I'm not sure. I agree, Lady Tinkerbell. Screaming is involuntary when you're scared. Yeah, you can't control the noises that you're gonna make. It's just like a knee-jerk reaction when you're scared. It's just gonna come out. Like, you're just gonna scream. Do you get what I'm saying and what Lady Tinkerbell wrote?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I'm trying to remember what that investigator said so I could ring some people's memories, because I remember it clearly. He was talking about how much force, how much strength it would have taken, and how loud it would have been. He said this would have not been a quiet attack.
And Brian R. said, it's on a hillside, so sound carries more out the lower door than I feel it would in the other direction. The house is like a speaker box, and that door is the airport.
Yeah, Brian, you're totally right. And just like fire breathing, throwing guy, Enon was saying, it's like an amphitheater in that backyard. And so, yeah, it definitely would project outwards. Agree. I think that's also one of the things, like when we're watching the police video and them coming up to the house, those people were loud,
They were
I mean, and so if you are a roommate or whatever and you hear loud and there was screaming as they were walking up, and it was just people having fun and listening to music or whatever, but so you get used to that. And I can see where, unfortunately, if it was like some quiet neighborhood and you heard something like this, it would wake you up. It's like, I grew up next to train tracks. I didn't hear the train every morning. My brain blocked it out. It came every day. It was loud. I never heard it because I got used to it. And so if you're in one of these houses or you're a neighbor to one of these houses and you hear some of these things, and it could be, keep in mind too, it wasn't like 2 hours of screaming. It was a brief period, I would assume. And then there was no more after that. So someone may think, oh yeah, so and so just got home and they're stumbling back into their house and they're bop, 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 and it sucks, but I could see that happening, especially in the college community, no doubt.
Well, and then think about the floor that where Xana's room was at. Think about that particular area. It's directly over the top of what would have been Dylan's room. And I go back to the TikTok video of all the girls when they're pretending to be each other. And you listen to how that house echoed. They were all in the living area, and the sound it traveled in that house. You can hear it, the hardwood floors. So between the sound carrying through the house because of the hardwood floors and high ceilings, on top of whatever vibrations and thumps and thuds you might have heard directly above that, Xana's room was directly above what would have been Dylan's. I mean, and then you think about the coroner saying that there was a fight on the second floor. I know I piss people off when I say it, but I find it very hard to believe that those roommates didn't hear it.
I do too, and I'm reading the comments that people in the comments also feel the same way. I mean, not everybody in the chat. I'm sure I'm reading a couple comments that are saying that. It just seems so hard to believe. And again, in the last few lives, I've taken it back, like I said, at Sharon Tate's house when there was William Garrettson in the guest house, how he said he didn't hear anything that night. I find that hard to believe as well. But this was inside the house. This wasn't even a guest house yards away. This was right there.
And in all truthfulness and honesty, that house is big, but it's not that big. It's not. It's like two little buildings put together. It's not this huge mansion.
Isn't it only like 2,400 square feet or something? It's
Yeah,
really not
that's
that
what I
big.
was about to say, 2,500. So yeah, I think
a
you're
very
right.
Small house.
It's just a very strange, just because of the add-on, it's just a very unique house.
Well, I see, like any college town. When I was in college, the crap that people used to live in, and how rickety the landlords would keep it because they didn't care. It's a money bank. And so this was one of those hodgepodge. I had this little thing here, and I built out the back of it, and I
Yeah.
cram a bunch of college students into giant closets, basically, and it's a moneymaker. And that's one of the reasons I don't think they're going to knock this thing down. They're going to wait a year and go back to renting it and making bank like they have been for decades.
Oh, I
Well,
definitely don't think it's going to be torn down, sadly. I know a lot of people want it to be, but I don't feel it's going to be.
Well, when we did the research on that too, and Jim's right, people were having a hard time believing that was blood leaking out from the inside of the house. It's not really that hard to believe when you look up, like, like Jim just described, the way these landlords, the upkeep on these places is the bare minimum because they rent them out so many different people. There's so many different parties that go on. And, it's just, they don't put a lot into these places because they know that, it's going to be a turnover every 6 months or more. Like, how long did those girls really even live there?
Yeah, I mean, they really don't care. So, when I was in college, I lived, my address was number 1 of the street, meaning it was the first on the street. So I was the closest house to frat row and everything. It was like the centrally located best place to be. And, and it was crazy when I lived there, I left and I subletted out my room, and then someone else took it over, and I came back a year later because I actually left the state. I was living in Colorado, and I came back, and I had left my golf clubs in the basement. And so I went back to the house to get my golf clubs, and my room had been taken over and turned into some, I mean, there was like spray paint on the wall. I mean, it was a complete mess, and the landlord didn't care. He was going to have contractors come back in, paint everything over, and then charge a premium for that space. I couldn't even afford it nowadays. Well, I could, but you mean like, but it is really the same thing, I think, with this type of a place. It's location, location, location. And if they were 3 blocks away, rent would be 2/3 the price, and
You
it
sound
wouldn't
like
be the
a
quality house.
realtor there. Sorry, I've heard a realtor say location, location, location. So that made me think of a realtor right there.
Yeah, well, I've owned a number of homes, and it has a big impact, and especially with college. You're right across the street, basically, more or less from frat row and where everything happens. Yeah, that's prime real estate for in a college area, and that's one of the reasons that, even when the police officers came to the house, and on their badge cams, you can hear them walking up being like, "Yeah, we don't want to deal with this. Like, I've done this before. I did this last night. I did this 22 years ago. I did this,
Yeah.
and it's rough because they have to encounter these type of things. And that's one of the reasons I personally, when I saw them dumping out the Trulies, first of all, I think that stuff is nasty. But but I was like, you know what? They're actually trying to do these kids a solid and be like, well, I can write you a citation for open container, and I can take every kid out of this house that's under 21, And so I do feel bad for the cops in that instance, but I do totally think that Maddie was in that house. I don't think she was somewhere else.
Oh, I'm
And
sure. Yeah.
he sent down the two lackey boys that volunteered to do it, and I couldn't believe that once they got on the phone. But what that is, right? That completes the call, and that's what it is. The call has been completed. We had a noise complaint, and we spoke to the owner, and we warned. Bang! They're done. They write it in their book and they leave. That's what they wanted. That's why they wouldn't leave until they talked to her.
Yeah, exactly. I had that comment up, and then, sorry, I just wanted to address the comment that Brandy wrote that maybe they were tased beforehand. I never thought of that. Did you guys think of that? And what do you think of that comment? Also in the chat, what do you guys think? Do you think that that could have happened maybe?
I had
Okay,
actually
you're
typed the. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brittany.
You're gonna have to kick my butt. I'm gonna have to ask you to ask again. Craig just messaged me.
No
And
problem.
Craig!
In chat, somebody asked if I could get back to it. They said, do you think that they were maybe tased beforehand?
Oh.
And I never thought of that.
Wow. Why? Okay, but why tase though? Why are we thinking tase? That's a good one though.
To keep them like quiet and to get them.
Possibly, yeah, because I mean that's a lot of people versus one. We've said that for a while now.
And you're not gonna be able to fight back if you're getting like tased. That's gonna knock you on your feet. Off your feet.
Possible, yeah.
I had replied to that comment, and I do respect it because I think, yeah, it is one of those things. Has anyone on panel been tased?
I've
No?
seen somebody tased, but I haven't
Yeah.
personally been tased. But I've
I have
seen it. Yeah.
I have.
I
It doesn't
haven't
feel
been
good.
tased.
It doesn't feel good. And when I was tased, it was actually done in an environment where the connections were going to be perfect, meaning I wasn't wearing a big puffy jacket, and I wasn't trying to run away from police or whatever. Tasers, for the first thing, is that any commercially available taser you can go buy from your Bass Pro Shops or whatever, they're really shitty. Pardon my language. And so I think that, to me, it's so if you're implementing a different tool, then I think personally, if that comes in, it just makes it much more complex, almost too complex to even utilize that tool. Because especially if you're getting tased, what happens a lot of times is that people's muscle systems will tense up, but they can still make noise. But you have to have that perfect. You can't, you can't just have it kind of. It's not like shining a flashlight on someone and they're tased. Like the connections have to be right there. So I see that as a bit of a stretch. Um, I do appreciate that, because that's an angle that I haven't heard of before. And there could have been something like a taser or something that was used in concert with the knife. I still don't think so, but it's nice to have that option.
I have a question. Do
Yes.
you know what why they're disregarding the toxicology?
What do you mean disregard? How are they
I
disregarding?
saw, I've been sick, guys, so give me a little mercy and if I get this wrong, because I only saw like a brief headline, but I think it was on Fox. They said something like the coroner says that the toxicology results are irrelevant.
I have to look that up. Have you guys heard that in chat? I
You
haven't
didn't
heard
know
that yet. And
what
then
I'm
I
talking
have
about.
I have Holly's question up because I was going to go over that, but now I'm very curious in what you're saying because that seems very odd. Did you hear that, Jim?
Laura knows what I'm talking about. She said she heard that too. Well, I have a reason for asking that, just real quick, and then I'll stop. I'll let you do you, Valerie.
I'm very, very curious now.
Right, because to me, I would think that the toxicology report would be very relevant, because what if somebody was in the house that night staying over, like spending the
Yeah.
night?
And they could have drugged them. Oh, I don't know if I can
There you
even
go.
say that on here, but
Put something in their drinks to make them go to sleep. Right.
Exactly. But I mean, they did say that 2 of them had defense, or I don't know if they said 2, but we do know that a couple had defensive wounds. But unless maybe it was, say they did give them, like how Jeffrey Dahmer, I believe, gave, I think, Halcyon. I don't know if I can even say that, but he gave a sleeping pill to his victims, and some of them would wake up a little bit in a daze. So maybe it kicks, it wasn't, some of them maybe woke up sooner or something like that. But that is definitely, you would think that would be a like pivotal a part that they would want.
Well, how about at the food truck, the grub truck, when after number 9 Jersey guy talked with Maddie and whatnot, he went over and he gave that sleeping motion, where he took his 2 hands together and put it on the side of his head and, sort of like going to sleep. I always thought that was really strange.
Yeah, and me and Brittany both have had our suspicions about the Jersey guy,
Yep.
right?
I don't like the way he broke his neck to get Maddie's attention. Was weird.
Yeah, either he looked like one of 2 things. He looked sketchy as all get up, or he looked like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
That was his whole body language. Like, he was there waiting. He saw her, and I didn't see. I really tried to look closely when they came up and gave the hug, and I was looking to see if I can like see some sort of like exchange of something, and I don't think there was, because I don't think kids that age are that smooth. But like, it was definitely where the way he perked up like a freaking peacock when she came around the corner, and he like stuck his head out and then walked over to her. And he was pacing back and forth before they came. And so to me, I think it was very obvious that he knew that she was coming. That was what his body language told me.
And I'm going to answer Delena's question in just a moment after I answer Holly's. Holly said, question for all. So everybody in chat also, Holly wants to know your thoughts. Do you all believe the perp was already in the house or outside? Please make this a poll. Okay, so then one, if you believe, I know we kind of went over this, but there might be different people in the chat. If you believe that the person was already inside the house before they got home, put a well, let's see, how should we put that? Yeah, if they were already in the house, put a 1. If you think they came into the house after everybody was asleep, put a 2. So after they were asleep, put a 2. Before they got home, put a 1. What do you think, Holly? And what do you be on panel? What do you guys think?
Well, it looks like we're getting a lot of 2s. I'm getting some 1s here as well.
I think he staked outside and waited to go in.
Yeah, that's how I don't know. I mean, I come at all of this too, and I don't know if you all do this, but I do. I'm like, how would I do it?
Yeah, no, I try to put my head. I know as crazy as that is in the mind of a killer.
I'd be outside, 100%.
If he was not outside, he was already in the house, like staying the night. I just
Yeah,
don't think that he was like hanging out there waiting without being known.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of do. I feel like this was one of those things where they were back home and it was I don't know. I really I see somebody knowing, I guess we've said this many times, knowing the property, knowing the rooms or whatnot, and knowing how to get into the house. And they were out there waiting, or, and this is the tricky one, is somebody that was already invited into the house to stay for the evening.
Mm-hmm. So, because if somebody was there that night, sleeping over, that's so easy. It's so easy.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And then, well, like we've said before about, we don't know about there being a blood trail on the outside. We haven't seen any on the outside of someone walking away with blood. And we haven't really seen one in the backyard either. So, I mean, it could very well be in the bushes. We do see investigators looking down and crouching at spots, but we don't see like a huge blood trail of someone walking away. So I don't know if they took a shower there or what, but that is interesting.
Blows my mind though is that front door being open that morning.
Yeah,
Which
that's going to also get into I'm going to play one other video and then I'll let everyone go, but I want to go into what Delana said and I'll pin her comment. But sorry, go on. I cut you off. So I'll pin her comment.
No, that's where I was leading to. That leads to Delana, because I'm with you, Delana, on everything you've said so far. And I've tried to say things here and there, but like I said, people get very, very sensitive about that topic. But I feel like in any other situation, that would have been the first place all of us looked. But for some reason, maybe it's because these are two young little girls that look innocent, and they have been through a lot, but it still needs to be stated there's some things that are very questionable. The noise, for one. Then you got the door that was wide open all morning.
And not calling until the afternoon, and that they didn't call police first, that they called their friends first.
Exactly.
And people can say, oh, well, that's what young people do. But I have had to call 911 before for people, and I didn't call friends. I called the police. So, I mean, maybe everyone could maybe do things differently, but I mean, I think it's very sketchy that they didn't call the police. And again, I'm not accusing them of anything. I don't want everyone in chat to be like, "Oh, you are accusing Dylan, the roommates of this crime." I'm not, but I do think it is weird that they waited that long and that they didn't call the police first. And I know people do like to blame it on their age, but like I said, I have been in that, like, not that situation obviously ever, God forbid, but where the police have been needed to be called, and I didn't hesitate to do that. But again, everybody is different.
You know, something here too. I know it's a little nitpicky, but I think it's smart to acknowledge it. Something you said, Britt, you said, "Oh, you know, these are just," I can't remember what you said, but you know, these are just girls or whatever. They're not. They're women, and Ethan is a man, and all of the Jacks are men. These are adults, you know. And I think that in this type of case, we look at it and we try to give them some sort of a pass because they happen to be in college. These are adults, and whoever gets caught with this, if it's part of one of these things, will be tried as an adult. And I just like to personally, I like to keep grounded in that because I feel like it lends people to feel differently about the case. Like this is different than a Quentin type of case. That's a child. You know, these people are adults, and when the person is caught, they will be tried as an adult. And I'm not going to say, "Oh, well, he's just a little boy," you know. And so I just, you know, I think, I don't know. For me, it just sticks because I think that, you know, we give these people a pass too. You know, just because you happen to be in college and you happen to not be, you know, in your life, and you happen to not have had a kid early or whatever it is, that you get this thing where you get to get an extra like 4 years of being a kid, you know. And I'm sure people will flame me for this. And I went to college, you know, so I you know, but yeah, I just don't want to give any credit to that because, you know, when they do find whoever this is, and if it is a college student, they're not going to be charged as a kid. They're going to be an adult. And you know, that's all.
I'm
Oh,
with you. Kara. I'm with you, Care. 100%.
okay, so I'll play, well, yeah, there's another video, and then also I just wanted to show, and the one thing, it really does show that Jack S does walk up with Kaylee and Maddie in the one where she says, like, "Did you tell Adam?" I know we've been over the video, but I'm looking at it more in the fact that he is walking with them. You know how we are thinking that he's being like a creep, or that people are saying he's being like a creeper. It does show
Mhm.
that him and Maddie are walking very closely together. So we'll just look at it from that point of view of, because before we thought maybe he was just hanging around them at the grub truck, but the three of them definitely walk up together.
Maybe they asked him to walk with them to the truck, the grub truck.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe they were like, "We're going to the grub truck," and he's like, "Okay, well, I'll walk with you." I mean, it does look innocent enough in the walk. And I think Craig fixed my computer, you guys. We'll find out tomorrow.
Oh, yay. Yeah, I'm so happy. So you won't have that, all of your merchandise though. What about that? We won't be able to wear it.
Craig.
We could still do the merch.
Hey, Craig and I still have to set up our date night.
Yeah, you do. I still got to do the freaking members only lives with him that I promised.
Only do it on a Friday though. That's when he's his best.
Yes. Okay. Definitely Friday.
Yeah, Delana, I hear you. is true. Just saying, she was saying here that it's challenging hearing people say that college students are incapable of doing this. And she brought up Aiden Fucci, who was a child, and so yeah,
Mhm.
the capability of people. I always go back to that. I remember when I was a kid, you used to hear those stories about like the child got trapped under the car and the mother or father lifted up the car with superhuman strength. You know what I mean? Like they had something that they didn't know they had. And I think some of that may exist, unfortunately, in rage as well. And your adrenaline kicks in. And I mean, it's like I don't know how many of you have been injured. I've been injured a lot. And when I get hurt, I don't feel it right then because your adrenaline's kicked in. An hour
Exactly.
later, you
And
have
then
to go
all
to
of a
the hospital
sudden,
because you broke your arm, and so
yeah.
Now, when she walks by, the audio is definitely out of sync. I wish that they would sync the audio with it because I think that's what throws Mallory off in this video.
No, it is weird. It's thrown a lot of people off because Kaylee doesn't seem to be the one. Like, it's just weird. It's like she's not talking when it seems like someone else is talking, but it like you said, it's Kaylee's voice. So
Yeah, her
here,
dad even said they checked it.
yeah. So here, I'll play it real quick. It's only 16 seconds. But okay, I'm just showing that they are walking up together. And you can see Maddie and Jack S are next to so it's not like he's walking behind them or anything like that. So they are all coming up together. Did I need to replay that again? Or you guys heard that again? As in, Maddie, what did you, or I don't know. Everyone
I
in
would,
chat?
if I were you, I would one more time because I want to point something out also.
Okay.
Maddie doesn't appear as stumbly drunk like she did at the grub truck in this video. Maybe, she's just hit her from walking, because you get your blood pressure going. But she was stumbly at the grub truck. Watch her. She's kind of walking fine here.
What do you think?
I definitely hear the same thing I've always heard. Maddie, what'd you say to Adam? I told Adam everything.
I agree, Linda. Like, he looks like he's part of he actually looks more engaged with the conversation than Kaylee.
Yeah, I think I would not be surprised if that audio is from when they were at the top of the, when they first started walking in the frame or something. Like it's delayed. I guess you'd have to watch it closely to see if you see Kaylee look over at Maddie.
Okay, we'll do it one more time. Well, I don't know how to make it slower. I know everybody slows it down and speeds it up, but I don't really know
Okay, if you
how.
go right there to the little wheel, go back. Yes. Wait a minute. What
Party
did I
home,
do?
Oh
part of
no.
a Greek fraternity.
I told you to do it wrong.
4 students, but yet 2.
Sorry. Okay. Make it big. Isn't it the wheel, you guys, right there? Yes, settings. Click on settings. It is settings. Yes.
Oh,
Go
playback speed. Okay, so should I do
up to the middle, 0.5. That's what I did yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be bossy. I hope I'm not coming
Oh
off that
no,
way.
be bossy, please. I tell me, I need direction. So that's good. All right, let's see this again.
It's hard to tell.
What
Really
did you?
hard to tell. It does look like she looks over at Maddie, like when they're a little out of frame where it's hard to kind of see. Like I'm really squinting trying to see that.
I agree, alien dog. She seems very concerned. That's what I thought, that she maybe like hooked up with someone, possibly, or got a guy's number, gave out her number or something like that. And she was afraid that if Adam's the same Adam that lives with Jack D, that maybe when she's like, what did you tell Adam? And is afraid that Adam told Jack, and she didn't want it to get to him. Like I'm just saying possibly hook up. I don't know if that's the case, but
A lot
something
of,
that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, because alien dog said she seems concerned, so that's the only thing that I could think of, that she's afraid of if they were going to get back together. That might have been the case, that she was worried that Jack might have found out that something like that happened.
I was thinking that too, but also like I noticed yesterday when we were going through the audio, a lot of people are hung up on the fact that they're fine at the food truck. But maybe I don't see how them being fine at the food truck completely discounts her being concerned here. Maybe she's concerned, but it's not to the extent like I'm going to hate Maddie and be mad at her for the night. You know what I mean? It's more like, why'd you do that? Now we got to figure this out.
Yeah, well, that's why then I think there were so many phone calls after.
Yes.
I think, yeah, I think that's kind of makes it more sense now.
Mm-hmm. And it could be something simple, like she kissed a guy at the bar that night.
Or gave them her number or something like that.
Yeah. Or maybe Eddie said he thought maybe Adam and Kaylee were talking.
So
And
Cherie or Sherry, I'm not sure. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, so I said it both ways. Said, oh no, well, she wants to know where it came from. But someone else asked, maybe they said that maybe Maddie was joking. Like, I told Adam everything, like, as a joke. And it came from News Nation. Got that? That's where I found that. But
Ryan makes a good point.
What was that?
Ryan said, not mad, but more concerned about the situation. I agree.
Yeah, and when she said everything, that sort of to me indicates that there's more than just one little thing, because that would be, I talked to him about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everything sounds a little more complex than that.
That's the way I took it too.
So Mama Bear said, looked like Kaylee was on her phone doing damage control and Maddie was standing against the truck a little away most of the time. And
Yeah.
I've always said that I believe Kaylee was texting Jack that whole time. So I agree with Mama Bear that I think she was doing damage control.
Makes sense. And because she didn't put her phone down, not once.
Oh no, she was glued to her phone, her eyes on her phone the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much so that when I first watched the video, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I hate those people." Like you hang out, and the whole time you're hanging out with them, they're staring at their phone. I'm not even kidding. You know, like she stuck out that much as how much she was staring at that thing.
Yes, Lisa Lee. Okay, so there was just one other thing I wanted to play, and then I will let everybody go to bed. So let me just grab that.
Can we do that after we get 30 more likes? Come on, people. Give a little love. Smash that button. You know, when you smash the button, when you flip the pillow over and you get the cool side, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it'll be extra cool tonight, I promise.
Investigators searched for a suspect and the murder weapon in the vicious killings of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho.
The killer still remains at large, and that has left a real sense of fear.
It's scary being here, and it doesn't feel like home anymore. It doesn't feel as safe.
The person might have targeted the home because there were all girls that lived at the home.
Are you going to catch this killer?
We are doing everything we can.
It could be any student house in the remote town of Moscow, Idaho. The young women living there would throw parties or gather round a fire pit on the patio. Their lives documented on social media. But 4 weeks ago, this student idyll was shattered. 3 of the housemates, Kaylee Gonsalves, Maddie Mogan, and Zana Kernodle, and Zana's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, were brutally murdered. As they slept in bed in the early hours of a Sunday morning, they were stabbed to death with a large knife, leaving their rooms blood-splattered. There are no witnesses, nobody even reporting hearing screams.
There was no sign of forced entry at this house and no evidence that any of the victims had been sexually assaulted. More than 4 weeks on, there's no murder weapon and no suspect. It's a crime that's not only dumbfounded police, it's mystified America.
At its centre is a small town police force which hadn't had a murder for more than 7 years.
You can feel the weight of what's happened as you walk through town, and it's hard to say if or when it will ever be the same.
Are you going to catch this killer or killers?
We are doing everything we can. And part of that is to be sure we're going through all the evidence. It's vast. There's pictures, emails, phone calls coming in. We have to look through everything to make sure we have everything we need to make an arrest and also take this to court and be successful in finding justice.
You want a conviction as well as an arrest then?
Yes, we can't afford a mistake. We can't afford to put out information that might compromise anything we're doing with the investigation.
Even usually joyful occasions in Moscow are now coloured by loss. Victim Kaylee Gonsalves was supposed to be graduating this weekend. This is a university and a town terrorised by a killer on the loose. Are you feeling safe?
Not at all, no. I have like pepper spray, and I have different kind of self.
I just don't want to get another strike or anything, but what do you think about what she says about we don't just want an arrest, we want a conviction, that they want to do everything right. So does that make you think that they have a person of interest? Oh, and I see we lost Brittany. Are you there, Jim? Or did you leave me too?
No, I'm here.
Okay,
here.
good. So
They're
how
just bouncing around screens. Yeah.
yeah, oh, I hate that. If like I'm on another screen and someone's like, "Valerie, are you there?" And I'm like trying to get to the screen to hit unmute and I can't. But yeah, so you heard her say
So I think they have somebody in mind as of now. I have to start thinking it time-wise. I don't have much more to go on that other than just time at this point. If they don't have somebody, I mean, it was it was a little more simple, I guess, with Lavani, but we waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, and then they came back and dropped the hammer. And I think with these type of cases, that's sort of the theme, is that they may have, well, they have a lot more information than we do, and once they compile it to the right point, I think they're going to make a move. But I don't think that they're blind to anything. I mean, maybe that's just the part of me that hopes they're not, but I really don't think they are. I think that they got something going on.
Okay, and I asked chat, do you think they have a suspect? Yes, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Or suspects. Just because they're saying they don't want to get anything wrong, they want to make sure it's not just an arrest, but a conviction. So we have a mixture.
Yeah, it's actually, I would say, almost like a 50-50, 1 to 2. Almost a little more towards the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, Ellie? I get you. After the Delphi mess. Who knows?
Help things, but it's scary. It's scary being here and it doesn't feel like home anymore. It doesn't feel as safe. I knew 2 of the girls from middle school, and then I tutored Ethan for a little bit. I knew them, thinking about them always. I have like the bracelet for him right now, wore it to graduation, wow. Just thinking about him, but it's been tough being here. Ethan like lit up a room when he went into it. He was just always smiling, so happy, so funny. Yeah, I'm just so lucky I got to know them.
Trevor Adkins' daughter Katie lives down the street from where the murders happened.
I just put myself in their shoes and it just makes me sick to my stomach. And those sweet girls.
For young women, particularly walking home in the dark here, I can't imagine how that feels at the moment. Like,
yeah, it's pretty terrifying. And when we checked into the Airbnb, I was scared to death and made my husband like check under the bed. And I'm like a 43-year-old woman and I couldn't believe it. And I got in there and the windows weren't locked and it just paralyzed me. And so I shut all the windows and I closed the curtains. I checked under everywhere.
One of the many unknowns pervading this case is why the 3-story house or its occupants were targeted and why some were left alive. On the first floor, Zana and her boyfriend Ethan, who were sharing a bed, were killed. On the second floor, Kaylee and lifelong best friend Maddie, also sharing a bed, were murdered. 2 other female housemates in ground floor bedrooms say they slept through the attacks.
So the way that she has it, as she says, like instead of basement or instead of the second floor and the third floor, she considers the first floor to be, how do you get, she has a different, like we consider where Xana was as like the second floor and then Kaylee and Maddie the third floor. She considers where Xana was to be the first floor and then the other one, the ground floor. But technically we're all considering it the same. It's just calling it different ways. I don't know if you caught that part. Hopefully that made sense, but I'll just press play if that didn't make sense.
When they woke, they summoned other friends to the house, believing one housemate to be unconscious. Police have ruled them out as suspects.
Why would you target these kids? Why would you do that?
Troy Lambert is a crime writer. His stepson lives in the apartments overlooking the murder house. Did he say he heard anything on the
No,
night?
he was working that night, so he wasn't home until late. And then, of course, him and his roommate do gaming and stuff like that. So they didn't hear anything either. I mean, with the density of students in this area, that is kind of surprising that nobody heard anything.
Have you got any theories?
Well, my only theory is that it was someone organized who knew what they were doing and knew them. The biggest question is motive. First of all, like who was it? How close within their circle were they? And then what was their motive for doing it? I mean, to kids, for it to be young college kids who have no what I would consider no enemies really, like why would you target them?
Investigators say they're busy piecing together not just what happened inside the house, but the hours leading up to the murders. Maddie and Kaylee had spent the night at this bar, just off the main street in Moscow, leaving at 1 a.m. to walk to a nearby food truck.
I think I would like the...
Kaylee can be heard ordering. There then appears to be a dispute with a man in a hoodie. At one point, Maddie gestures towards him. Police say they've discounted this man as a suspect. Kaylee Gonsalves's family, frustrated with the lack of information from the police, have recruited a lawyer to push for answers.
I don't think that the family believes that there was an individual target on their daughter. It just doesn't make sense with the facts that have been presented and other information that we've gathered. The person might have targeted the home because there were all girls that lived at the home. And it was a house that a lot of people came and went in. A very social scene that the girls were involved with, and they were sororities in a sorority and things like that.
Mystery also surrounds the whereabouts of the other two victims the night before the murders. This is the Sigma Chi fraternity house with the Greek lettering. Zana and Ethan were here between 8 and 9 p.m. the evening before the murders. It's less than a 5-minute walk from the house where they were killed, yet they didn't return here until 1:45 a.m. Police are now trying to account for those missing 5 hours. There are so many unknowns in a community desperate for answers. 4 families now approaching Christmas, not knowing why their lives were suddenly and violently ripped apart, or by whom. Martha Kellner, Sky News, Idaho.
Do this brilliant trick for just 15 minutes per day to get an incredible abs without working out or dieting. An ingenious college athlete from Berkeley just destroyed the billion-dollar fitness industry by building a device.
Okay, I swear that was not me, NorCal Jim. You better own up to that.
It was me.
Thank you. Because everyone in chat's like, was that you, Valerie?
Yeah, it's not the first time it's happened. Sorry, y'all. I didn't know I wasn't on mute. But listen, it adds a little fun to the evening. And that's kind of part of why I'm here. So there you go. Sorry.
Well, I'm just happy you weren't like, what? That wasn't me. So thank you for owning up to it. But yeah, so that's pretty much what do you think of that video? They said about how it was an organized killer. So, that makes me not think that it was that young of a student then. And I'm not trying to push an SK theory. I know that everyone probably thinks that. I'm trying to look at other avenues I'm thinking again that it could be an incel, or an incel. I know I'm all saying it wrong all the time. People are getting frustrated with that, probably. But I'm thinking it could possibly be that, or someone that was a mass M, and now they're turning into an SK. But what they're saying about how organized it was, and methodical, that doesn't seem like someone that would be 20 years old, 21 years old. What do you think? Okay, now he's just on mute. Now he's ignoring me.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I don't know. I think the whole thing is it's got to hash out a little bit. I don't think that we're getting enough information right now, and I think that people have to. I don't know. It's tough because you speculate, but then you re-speculate, and you do the same thing over and over and over again, and it gets frustrating. I guess is where I'm coming from.
So Joy
Ooh,
said, "Oh, go on."
five more likes to get to 200, I believe.
Come on, 5
Yes.
people. Joy said, "I think it was really organized. They had to think this through. I don't think it was an incel, but someone jealous or that got made fun of by the girls." So again, someone that was very organized. And the other person said this could have been fueled by jealousy and rage.
Yeah, I still get brought back. Honestly, my main route comes back to the fraternity. I don't know, and I think this is something when it comes down to trial or whatever, I think it's going to come out that it got way out of control. This was not the plan type of thing, and even like meaning like maybe in the beginning they wanted to go in and threaten someone and scare the crap out of them. But not do anything more than that, and then being who knows? It sounds so random yet so calculated, and that's what drives me nuts. But I really do think that there's something with the Greek scene there that is going to be a connection.
Welcome back, Brittany.
Sorry, Craig called me and it kicked me off. You think there's going to be a Greek connection?
No, I think there is a connection with the Greeks, meaning the fraternities.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Yeah, I do. I just see how big it was in that university, and not just that, but in their little enclave of who they were. And so, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Deland just put in something with Penn State at one point had tried to cover up a death in a frat, and if we've heard over and over, how many times we've heard about hazing deaths and different stuff like that. And so, yeah, I think that there's a connection there. I used to think more like that sort of incel across the street, getting angry over the years, watching them live the life that they couldn't. But
Mhm.
I don't know why. I'm just moving a little more away from that because I don't know. That's just where my mind is going.
And do you think, because I know like people have gone back and forth with it, do you think that they're still in the town or you think they're long gone?
I think they're gone, but they pay close attention to what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
It's too easy nowadays. I mean, if you look at back in the day, these serial killers or these killers that we were talking about, they didn't have 24/7 access to live feeds of people talking about them. And so now these people do. And what better accolades could you expect than sitting there and listening to a whole bunch of people spend 4 hours talking about if it was you or what they think was you, but the whole story, and you get to like rejoice in it. And of course, every time they go through, and even the whole thing like with Gray Hughes and stuff that he does with the recreations, I think they're freaking dope. But if you're the offender and you're looking at that, you can sit there and chuckle as to what they thought we think they did, or to be like, oh shit, that's exactly what I did. I don't know. So it's really tough.
Yeah, I agree, Brian R. I was thinking at first that the killer was maybe younger, like a student's age, but now I'm thinking that they're a little bit older. I'm thinking maybe they're in their later 20s to 30s. What about you? What do you two think? And in chat, how old do you think that they might be?
Brian R says 30ish.
You talking about the people responsible?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've always thought in their age range or a little older, but 30-ish, anywhere between 20 and 30, but not much more than that. I don't think it's an older person. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I cough at night from this cold.
You know, too, with these college towns, I know in my college, when I was in undergrad, uh, when we had parties and stuff, there was always the weird 1 to 3 to 5, usually men that were there that were hanging out that you clearly were not in college anymore, but they just sort of sucked onto the scene. And,
Mhm.
you know, there could be that type of people. I mean, even looking at that Enon guy, like I don't think he had anything to do with it. You know, he's more of a recluse. But those people exist in college towns too, because it's like, you know, I had a friend say once, I was good at college. So you don't leave it. I had a friend that was in college for freaking 2 decades because
My
and now he
cousin, yeah, it was the same way.
yeah, so, you know, they have that.
Oh, I grew up with a kid that he made career out of college. Like I'm not even kidding. He was in college for like 10 to 12 years.
And Delana, yeah, he can come up. I'm about to end it. So I'm not sure what they wanted to share, but I am about to end it. But they will have to put their camera on just for me backstage because I don't know how to do the overlay. I'll hopefully learn it, but I don't know how to do it yet. But if they're okay with turning their camera on, no one else will see, just me. But I am gonna end it in just a minute.
I'm with you. Yes, Lex Luthor. That's where my mind's at.
That's what I was saying. Mid-20s to 30. Yeah, that's what I think.
And I'm with Jim. At first I was thinking like an incel type, but I'm not so sure about that. I honestly, I believe potential. I've had the Jack D speculation for a while, but I have an open mind, and I realize that it's very possibly not him. But I don't think it's an incel person either. I think this is somebody who is pissed about something, and he is in the very close circles of these people, of the victims.
Well, he can't be too old because he has to be able to blend in a college town.
Yep. And he has to obviously feel confident enough to go in. I mean, it's dark. Yes, it's dark, but it's still very a crowded neighborhood. You seen how many people were walking the road that night? Just that night. You had 4 boys that were stopped by the police, and then in that time period at 3 a.m., 3:15 in the morning, you see others run by. Like there's people everywhere in the middle of the night. And that mom, a lady that come up on my panel who has 2 kids that go to Idaho, she said that her daughter lives in Greek Row, and that it's not uncommon every night, in the middle of the night, have people walking down the street.
Yeah, at 3 and 4 in the morning.
So, who would be bold enough to feel, or who could feel so bold to go into a house like that without being seen? That's a part of that right there is what makes me wonder if it's somebody that was spending the night. Like if they did it, and if they did lay in wait like outside for everybody to go to bed or whatever, it would have to only be in that dark area behind the house, because it's wide open in the front. You know, like somebody would see you going in there in the front.
Okay, so we do have 2-foot Fred. So hopefully this will be G rated because I don't know how to do the overlap thing. If it's not, I'm gonna have to private the video and everything. But yeah, let's add you to the stream and hope for the best.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I promise I will keep it G-rated just for you, Valerie. I'll do my very best. I won't go over the top. No, I just nice talking to all of you. I've called in or got in, however you want to say it, gotten on the panel for a few of these. I'm a newbie to this crude. I can't talk tonight. True crime stuff. But I've really been taken by this case, and
Yeah.
I'm one of those detail oriented people, which I know 90, probably some odd percent of the people of you all, as well as the people in the chat and viewers are as well. But, you know, and sometimes as I think you probably will agree that it can be taken a little too far, but I think as long as a person puts that caveat or that disclaimer that, hey, this might be a stretch, but I saw blah, 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 then I believe it's okay. Just as long as you don't put it out there. Not you guys, but I just mean in general. So what I'm about to say might be a bit of a stretch, but I did happen to notice something on Enan, however you say his name, Mr. Harsh, on his Facebook on October 4th. I took a screenshot, but it's public, I believe. And obviously I'm from Indiana, so I don't know anything. I feel like I know some of these people now, but I don't in person. But on his Facebook on October 4th, he had a post that basically was asking friends if anyone had a car for sale, that it needed to be roomy in the back end, like a wagon, or I don't remember what it said, something like that. And then it went on to say that he likes to sleep in his cars. And it needed to have under 100 and some odd thousand miles and less than $10,000 cash.
I remember that. I saw that one too. Yep.
And it just struck me kind of odd on October 4th. If a person was going to do this and they were gonna like flee, then you probably would want a car that you could sleep in, and you know the $10,000 cash kind of you know is interesting because from some of his interviews, all you would think that he is scraping by. Some of them, I mean, he's so contradictory that it's almost sickening to me. And again, I don't know this guy. He might be a cool guy, and I'll preface it with that as well. I hate talking about some of these people in such a negative light because we really don't know. No, I mean, some people I'll get, they do know him, and that's fine. But part of me is like, well, but I feel like this Eden guy has thrust himself into this situation. He's only catapulted himself into what he thinks is fame, but I think it's gonna soon enough be infamy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't help but to think. I mean, he's got now. Last time I looked, I'm probably more now, but he's adding videos every day to his YouTube channel. He has a post either on TikTok or Facebook, or maybe, I don't know. The information places are starting to all gel together in my head, but he's got to post someplace that talks about that he's famous now, and he knew this would happen soon enough, and goes on to talk about that. It seems like that the Harsh character is getting further and further away from the reason why he's even in the limelight, if you call it that. Whereas if you remember Jeremy Reagan, he always seemed to be grounded in the murders. In my opinion,
yeah,
it seemed like Jeremy always had that, like that was always obviously and I think that's the difference. And I don't know Jeremy either. I don't know any, like I said, any of these people. It's just my observation that you can kind of figure somebody out in so many. And then I also gathered from some of his posts, he had one post that said, "Ladies from out of state, if you ever need a place to crash in Washington, blah blah blah." And it's like, okay, wow, yeah. But I would think that's about it. What I had. Oh, and then the other thing I was going to say about Einen, and I'm sorry if I'm hogging everybody's time. Just tell me to shut up.
No, you're good. A lot of
Okay.
people feel this way. A lot of people think like this.
Yeah, and I thought, I mean, I don't know if I don't know if I'm supposed to not be able to say names on here, but JD, Jack D, became my number one after not being number one. Primarily because I feel like that he wouldn't hurt the dog. If somebody went to a little bit of trouble to make sure the dog was safe, in my opinion. And Jack probably, having raised the dog with Kaylee, would be that person. And on the flip side of it, I don't think that Einen looks like he's a nature dude, and all that sort of thing, and which is fine, but I don't think he would necessarily hurt an animal like that. He would see hurting a person, in my opinion, as a lesser offense than hurting a dog.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know, but oh, I know. I was going to say one more thing about Einen. I found a picture on one of the maybe TikToks or something where he is dressed. This was from 2017, I believe. He was dressed in one of those like hoodie rugs, like a weave, like the guy at the food truck was.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't the same color, but it was exactly the same style.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was very interesting to me because he's never said that he was there at the food truck. And I'm sorry again, I'm hogging, but the one other thing about Einen is that I heard with my own ears, I heard him say in an interview that he had never been in that house, and then I heard someplace else where he said that he had gone in the house.
Yep.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Yes.
he said he took them wine.
Yeah, he said he'd never been there, but then he said he brought them like a half bottle of wine.
Right.
So he said contradictions.
Well, but did he? The one place I heard him say that he took it over, they were in the front yard, and he took it over to him. And then, then I heard it. Maybe one of you all said that he said something about being in the house.
Oh yeah, he had a sick flow in that house.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
And then
Most of
he
his flows are
stretched.
sick. What's that?
He said he had a sick flow. He stretched, and what was the other thing?
Yeah, that he about drilling.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Oh, and two foot Fred, there was something else that he said that bothered me that you probably caught on to as well.
Yeah.
He said he's meditated over the murders. Do you remember?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I could not get through his whole manifesto. I tried, and I was starting to skip paragraphs, and I was like, F it. I can't do this. I tried to glean what I could out of it, but what I did gather out of it was that he is the kind of person, after writing everything he wrote on Reddit, the AMA or whatever, I could see him sitting down and writing a manifesto for the murder. Like writing everything out step for step almost.
Yeah.
I gathered that because of that Reddit post. There's not a lot of people that would come up with something like that in that short amount of time, in my opinion, because of all this content and everything. I mean, I bet he is scrambling like you would not believe, because in his mind he's blowing up. He's going viral. And so he's probably worked his butt off. But I don't know whether he's a murderer or not. I think he's a sick person that is exploiting the unaliving or the taking of souls of four very promising youth. And then one of the other things I was going to add was, a little bit ago, you all were talking about so and so And I'm not saying this in an argumentative way whatsoever. I'm just matter of fact about how some of the guys at the food truck, were kind of looking suspicious or bending their necks to look at a girl or Kaylee or Maddie or just making odd movements. But I've been that teenage boy before. It's been a long time, but I was that guy, and I would tell you that there's things that nobody can explain. It just happens as far as why you do this. Maybe one of them had to pee. I mean, I don't know. It's goofy like that. It's real hard to scrutinize that. I know what you're saying, and I'm not convinced that the hoodie guy is Jack Showalter. I know that that is a stretch. I'll say that as well. I'm not saying that I'm gonna hold to that, but I looked at some zoomed in on some things and whatnot, and but I think it was Trip Drop that said all these kids look the same, and they do. Like a lot of the guys are
Yeah.
just like frat boy, F boy wannabes, and have a lot of them are on steroids, and
Well, it was similar like that in the Kylie Rodney case. A lot of the girls look the same. I mean, so it's just that same look.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, almost like a Ken and Barbie look, almost.
It
So, I
is. Some
mean,
of them look just alike. It really is hard to make a like separation with some of these kids.
One more thing I was gonna say, and then I'll I'll back up. I'll back down for a minute. But I heard an interesting theory, and it's on TikTok, and I don't. This again, I'm gonna preface this with it not having any kind of not founded by anything other than probably a TikToker. I can't remember her name. A TikToker's intuition or theory. I just don't want to take credit for it if it happens to be somewhat right. I don't want to say that. That's the other thing I'm big on is giving credit where credit's due. I don't want anybody. So this is not my theory. I may kind of add my parts into it, but have you ever thought about the fact that like Kaylee might have had a same-sex relationship with someone there on campus that can't be outed and was threatening to out her? And she might have been on the staff at U of I. And rather than get outed and get her whole life destroyed in her mind, she had the means to hire somebody to go in and do this. And it was just supposed to be well, actually was jealous of Maddie because of Kaylee, or I'm not saying that right. She thought Maddie and Kaylee had something going on, which I don't think they did because I think they were lifelong friends. And I know girls, especially just, they fall asleep in the same bed. It just happens, whatever. But that's what girlfriends do. But this was somebody that wanted to actually be her girlfriend. And basically went to Jack D and offered him a deal he couldn't refuse. And he got a hold of these couple of frat boys that already had a beef with Ethan. And they thought, well, we'll just take care of two birds with one stone, and or more. And then let's see, Zaina was basically the wrong. She just was kind of in the crossfire. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but that's a theory that I have not heard other than that TikTok person, and I found it very interesting.
I think that there are many people that have a theory around the relationship of those
Liza.
two friends. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, beautiful Liza.
Hello, beautiful Brittany. Hello, NorCal. Are you still there?
Hey.
You're still awake. Okay. I'm going to end it soon, but I want to hear what Liza has to say.
Well,
thank you for having me up, Valerie.
Thank you for coming up.
Absolutely.
Hi,
Oh, and Two-Foot Fred, you're welcome over on my channel as well anytime
Yeah,
you would
you're
like.
great.
Absolutely.
Channel regularly with Brittany.
And I watch your channel, Brittany. I do.
Oh, good. I like your
Absolutely.
way of thinking.
Well, thank you very much. I go up with Queen Bee some, Um, and I don't know who all likes who, so I'm kind of an impartial
Oh, that's
person.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I enjoy coming up, and again, I'm such a newbie that I feel like sometimes I can give a perspective that maybe not so far down in the weeds. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I
I
thought you
think
were.
I agree with you. I'm so many. There are many people that think about it, but we're not sure. We don't know what kind of relationship those two girls really had. Nobody knows. Then until we have some kind of uh, through somebody that says something, what kind of relation they have, or what had really happened with their ex-boyfriend, we don't know about their private life that much. That's what I think. And about Chef, I don't remember his name, but I'm going to call him Chef. Um, Crazy. I went through his manifesto, and in English and in Spanish, I had to read a lot of stuff written by students, and he doesn't talk as he writes. And that's a very, very red flag. It's like his brain can be divided in several parts. It's like when a student is cheating and somebody else wrote the whatever for him and is giving it to you, and you know that he's not the one who wrote that. I don't know if he wrote that manifesto. I'm not sure. Maybe he dictated it to somebody and somebody tried to write it for him, but I have many doubts about that guy. I'm sure the FBI too. The only thing that can save him is a strongly alibi. That's all.
And scene. Hello?
Valerie, are you talking? Would your mic muted again? I think she is.
Oh gosh.
No, I walked to the other room and I heard Anne scene. Okay, so I ran as soon as I heard Anne scene. But all right, Liza, thank you so much. You only came up for a minute, so you still have to do that 3D thing or the 360. I don't know how we say it, but we still have to do that together. Because you sent me all those. Liza, like I said, is amazing with research and everything. So we still have to do that together. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Delana, I appreciate you so much. You're always so helpful. Thank you so much. NorCal Jim, thank you for being up here with me. Brittany, everyone, I hope that you have a great night. Thank you for being here. I'll try and say as many names as I can. Lex Luthor, of course. Linda, Trippy Dead. Hi, Trippy Dead. By the way, I just saw you. I think you're catching this at the tail end. So good morning to you. Good night to most of us. Mo, Joe Hart, Ashes, Greg, Sally, Ellie, Joy, Laura, Brett, Misfit. I'm so happy that you made it, Misfit. Let's do this. Angels lie to keep control. April, David, Maurice, Australia. Have a good night. Grace, Laura, Mama Bear, Wellness Sarah, 2 Foot Fred, thank you for coming up. Okay, I'm seeing Hot Rock Nation.
Thank you, Valerie.
All right, I think that's about everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming up. I know that you guys are probably exhausted now. It's like almost what? It's like 4 o'clock where you are.
It's been a good live. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope that you get your computer figured out soon.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Thank you, Liza. Thank you, guys.
Bye
All right, well,
bye.
have
Good
a good
night.
night,
Thank you,
everyone.
Valerie.
Thank you
Ciao,
so much,
Narcas.
Liza.
Bye.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night.